Ground to the left side. Wagner waits for it to come down on a big hop. He'll throw to first in time for out number 3. Thurber, that pitch is by him, but underneath the legs of Weinrich, and on to second base goes Marty Carrena. The Diamonds will be looking for a double play to end this inning. As they 1-0 Sonoma. As McDonald comes to the plate, and that pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The first pitch to Calderon from Thurber, and he hits this ball to left center field, and back goes the center fielder Hibernian. He can't get it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Calderon around first on his way to second, and he will hold there with a double. Wagner makes the catch as he falls back. Oh my! He'll make the throw in time as
3 balls, strikes, 2 outs. The runner's going to get a jump.
Making them aware that they know that they're there and they're not allowed. Oh,
Swung on and missed. Throw out is in plenty of time to get him.
come in here. This pitch for Wagner is hit to left field and is deep, and back goes Clark, and he's over to the wall, and it's gone.
Floater into short right field, and coming in to make the catch.
Go this ball, ground to the right side. Galletti stabs it, throws to second for 1, waits for a second to first. Did they make it? Yes, double play. Be a pickoff play. The throw to first, now on to second, and Pugh is out. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 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 Pitch to Marty Carrena is hit high and deep back to left field.
Way
back goes Metzger. He's at the wall. It's gone.
Gone. There it is. Yeah. All right.
Get the pitch that pops up, gets away. And J.J. Wagner going to scurry down to second base.
The high pop-up of a bunt, picked off by Brankins, delays his throw to second, and he could have had him maybe. Strikeout, and Clark gets tagged out. This pitch is ripped to the right side, and right-hand Valdez just throws the first double play. And Valdez says he's got it right in front of second base, but Garcia will take it up back to our shortstop, and he makes the catch. Lead to third. Here's the pitch. Valdez hits this one down the left field line. It's going to be trouble if it stays fair, and it's fair. In comes Bautista to score. On his way to third is McKeon, just picking up the ball now in left field. Metzger, and on with a double up to the right side. Letty says he's got it. Valdez says he's got it, and he does. 1 out. The pitch from Hutchison hits this one to deep left field. Back to left fielder Clark. He's at the fence. He watches. He leaps. He can't get it. It's gone. Running on into the dugout because that's out number 3. Got to run our first 3-2 pitch. He hits the right back up the middle, and it's going to be picked up. No, it's going to go right by Yasuda into center field, and Bautista goes on to third. And looked like Yasuda running over because Bautista.
Look at the air on the hopper.
We're back here with another member of the Pittsburgh Diamonds. The newest real member, I guess, would be Gerald Bautista. He came over in a trade from the Vallejo Admirals with a couple weeks ago in the last half season. And you've been a monster against your old team. Back Vallejo, here, you home runs, double, triple, I mean, this keeps going on. Is that something is this a source of like, a little revenge thing happening?
I don't know if you want to call it like that, but, you know, I'm locked in. You know, I have to play Sonoma, Vallejo, San Rafael, anybody. You know, I'm just locked in at the plate. I feel really good at the plate.
So tell us a little bit, tell us about where you grew up, how baseball became part of your life, and all that.
Well, I grew up, you know, I was born in Detroit, Michigan, when my father was playing with the Tigers. After that, we went to Atlanta, then the Marlins, and then I kind of grew up more in Arizona, where he played there for 4 years.
You're used to the trade thing.
Yeah, pretty much since my father. Yeah, so
you're in Arizona. You're growing up, and so obviously baseball was a part of your life from the minute you were born.
Yeah.
But how did you get
affection for it, or how did it become part of you?
You know, I just wanted to follow my father's footsteps, really. You know, I saw his lifestyle, you know, and he used to take me to the clubhouses, the big league clubhouses, big league stadiums, you know, and I was like, you know, I love this life. I want to become just like him. So that's how I became, you know, that affection got into me.
So you played Little League, Babe Ruth, high school, college?
I played Little League, you know, I played high school, AAU. I signed my scholarship to go to University of Florida, but then I decided to sign with the Cleveland Indians after high school.
Florida just won the World Championship.
Yeah, congrats to them, yeah.
You went with the Cleveland Indians, and so talk about your career since then, and how you ended up here at the Pacific Association.
You know, 2013 was my first professional year, and I had a pretty decent year. 2014 had a down year, I was injured. 2015, it was going to be my best year, but then, you know, I got released. So I ended up going to one of the winter leagues, and Vallejo picked me up during 2015 fall. So 2016, I played here last year in the Pacific Association.
And what's your favorite part of, well, I don't know if you've been in Pittsburgh, around Pittsburgh long enough to have a favorite part of Pittsburgh. What about the Pacific Association, or what you like most about being here?
You know, I love the weather. The weather's fun, man. You know, it's really good baseball, you know, just to keep it active, you know. And it's fun. It's a fun league.
What's the future hold?
You know, I'm just trying to get better each day and day, you know. I'm trying to move up eventually, you know.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations. Thanks for being
here.
here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And keep up the good hitting.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Scott McDonald here for Runs Hits Aaron, the pregame show for the Pittsburgh Diamonds, and we are here tonight for Game 3 of this 3-game series against San Rafael Pacifics. And the Diamonds have captured the first 2, and they haven't just captured the first 2. They've won 3 games in a row, and they have gained 3 games during that time on the first place Sonoma Stompers. They are in second. They're in third place. They are 1 game behind Vallejo. They are 2 games behind Sonoma. And I wrote last night that you could smell first place from there. Is that true?
Well, there's 2 teams ahead of us, so. But yeah, we can't ask to be in a better spot right now, considering the start that we had in the second half. We dug ourselves into a little hole like we did the first half, but we've dug ourselves out of it, and we've gotten some help from a surging Vallejo Admirals, and they're in this mix too. And you know, with anything that goes, you never know. San Rafael could get back into this thing too. So it seems like the league is evening out now. Vallejo's playing great. We're playing well, and we're ready to go. Get this sweep right here and head off to Sonoma.
That's what I was going to say. It's easy to look forward to a 3-game series against Sonoma this weekend, but this game tonight really sets the whole thing up. If you win, you're sitting pretty, and if you lose, it'll be kind of a large downer, as a matter of fact, depending on what Sonoma does.
Well, I'm not going to say large downer. You know, we want the sweep tonight. That's big, but you know, there's enough season ahead of us that you know, we're in this thing, and 1 loss is not going to set us back. You know, a big, you know, disappointment. So we got enough baseball ahead of us. We'd love to get the sweep. We've done it before to these guys. We'd love to do it tonight. You know, they seem to, although I think they're playing better than their record indicates, they're still the San Rafael Pacifics. They're still a pretty good team, and you know, we're not taking them lightly, and we're here to do business and again, go for the sweep and put ourselves in a good position this weekend.
Last night you had a couple debuts. Brett Solano with his first start for the Diamonds on the mound, his first professional start of his life. He went, I believe, 4 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs that were earned. What was your evaluation?
I thought he did a great job. You know, the numbers on him in college were he's a strike thrower. You know, a guy that's not going to walk a lot of guys. That's what jumped out to me. That's why I signed him. You know, he was 88 to 89. Mixed his pitches well, got after guys, broke a lot of bats. He's got some run on his ball. He did a great job, and he attacked the hitters, and he gave us an opportunity to win. And you know, we weren't quite sure what to expect with the spot start, but he did a heck of a job and showed he could pitch in this league, and he belongs here.
Joseph Randazzo got his first start for you guys, and he was 3 for 4 and had an outstanding night, as
and he looked good behind the plate. He looked good at the plate. You know, we're not so sure how much offense we're going to get from him, but the kid moves well back there. He gives a target. He receives well. He throws well. He's somebody you feel comfortable with behind the plate. And right now, you know, he's our backup, and, you know, we'll see how McKeon feels. You know, he's a little banged up right now. He's going tonight. But we feel confident with Randazzo behind the plate, and hopefully he can continue to get hits like he did last night.
Alex McKeon gets hit more with the baseball than any catcher. It's a tough position. I mean, you get hit with the baseball frequently, but he seems to outdo other catchers in that category. And yeah, it seems like he would have to be beaten up at this stage of the season because he is regularly during the games to the point where he has to take a break because he's getting hammered by the ball so much. So is that a precarious situation for you?
Well, he has been hit a lot this year. You know, maybe it's the fact that he's a catcher and, you know, he doesn't get out of the way of pitches. He catches them. You know, most people have the instinct to move, and he seems to not have that instinct. You know, he's a tough kid. You know, I think he uses it to his advantage. You know, he gets behind sometimes in the count, and they throw a pitch in, and he'll sit there and wear it. And, you know, I don't know if that's an extra skill these catchers have, but he's done a good job of getting on base sometimes like that. And, you know, yeah, he takes the punishment. The main thing, you know, is you know, his arm. He deals with some arm pain sometimes. He does a good job of taking care of it and throwing well enough. But you know, let's hope that he'll be good to go for the rest of the season.
So let's talk about a situation that comes up repeatedly in these ball games, and I'm not sure if this is a consistent, if there's a way that you have decided to deal with this consistently, but runners at the corners for the other team, and they send the runner from first base, and the ball is sometimes thrown through to second to try to get the runner at second, and sometimes then the guy at third takes off for the plate. And often, at one point in the season, other teams scored in that situation. Recently, it doesn't seem like the throw's been going as often to second base. Sometimes it does. Last night, you threw to second, the guy did not break from third. Is there a regular plan in this situation? Does it matter about these who's on base, or what's the situation?
There's a bunch of scenarios. The score, the hitter at the plate, the speed on the bases at third, especially at first. I mean, if you've got a guy who is a really good base threat at first, and you hardly ever throw him out anyways, you know, do you want to take the chance of throwing it down, especially if there's a fast runner at third? Now, you know, let's say you have a really weak hitter at the plate, you feel very confident, why take the chance? A lot of times, too, it's the score of the game. You know, if we're up by two, there's no way that I want to put the tying run, you know, at second base, or especially if it's the winning run. So, you know, it depends. I mean, if the winning run's at first and we don't want him to get to second, but you know, the speed of the runners are really good and we don't feel we have a good chance and we like the matchup against the hitter, a lot of times we won't throw it through. There's a lot of things you have to consider. There's nothing etched in stone, and you feel you go with your best gut, and you know, you try to play the percentages and, you know, play the scenarios in your head, play the tape forward a little bit, and think, you know, what might happen. And so again, there's a lot of things that go into it, and you just got to take into consideration all the factors.
Travis Blackley's pitched in somewhat bad luck, just in the sense of his one-loss record. He's 0-3 when he pitched far better than that record would indicate. Tonight he goes again. What are you looking forward to tonight? Oh,
he gives us a chance to win every time he's been out there. You know, it's been some hard luck, and he's ready to go. And you know, you look at the numbers, he's pitched great. He's been one of the best guys in the league as far as the whip is concerned, and strikeouts per 9. So he's pitching great. We just got to give him the run support and play a good game behind him, and we'll get the win tonight.
And Angel Mejia, do you have any thoughts about him as on the Pacific's side of the ball?
It's the first time we're seeing him. You know, the numbers indicate that, you know, he can strike somebody out, about a strikeout an inning, but also a little over a walk an inning. So, you know, guys got to be patient, stay in the zone, know that he can get wild and put some runners on, and, you know, play our game and have good at bats, put them back to back together, and score some runs.
All right, well, we're looking forward to a Game 3 tonight. The Diamonds going for the sweep against the Pacifics as they get ready to head for Sonoma for the weekend for a huge series there. And we will be back for the start of this game tonight, right after this.
We got you 3 straight nights.
That was a stop sign, right? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Winter Chevrolet Stadium in Pittsburgh, where the Diamonds look to sweep the San Rafael Pacifics. Diamonds coming in just a couple of games back after winning the first 2 games of this series and seeing those new and improved Vallejo Admirals take a couple up in the wine country against Sonoma. And Scott, the Diamonds getting it done again yesterday. Today they're going to throw Travis Blackley, who's going to face Angel Mejia. And Travis Blackley really had just one bad start so far.
And he's got a horrible record of 0-3, and that he doesn't deserve. He's pitched much better than that. And those Admirals, out of the last 8 games, they've won 7. The only team to beat them was Pittsburgh.
New and improved. Some of the older faces doing well, and some of the new guys doing well for Vallejo. Here's Juan Herrera, now the shortstop. He leads it off and bats first. Mike Rizzatello is the DH. He hits second for San Rafael. Ryan Witt is in left field. He hits third. Cameron Monger is the center fielder. He bats in the cleanup spot. Jake Taylor is at first. He is fifth. Mark Lindsay is the catcher. He is sixth. And the first pitch of the ball game is high and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Zach Goldstein is the third baseman. Miles Williams is in right field. He bats eighth. Demetrius Moore, I understand, getting his first ever pro start at second base, and he bats ninth. And this group takes on Travis Blackley, and the next one is fouled off and out of play. And they count 1 ball and 1 strike to Juan Herrera. So Travis Blackley, the ERA, pretty respectable, Scott, at 4.27. But when you look at his pitching log, he's really pitched a lot better than the way that ERA would look. There's a check swing, and that'll be a called strike in the count 1-2.
He has done a very good job, and he is often run into, as it seems to happen in baseball, you have a pitcher who pitches really well, and he always seems to come against the greatest performance ever by the opposing pitcher or whatever, and that's kind of been Blackley's luck. But they're counting on him tonight because it's a big game before a huge series.
The 1-2 pitch, and this is a ground ball to second. Otomar Valdez gobbles it up, throws him out, and 1 up and 1 down here in the first. Defensively for the Diamonds, Marta Corena, Wallace, and Bautista. Left to right in the outfield, Gwynn, Garcia, Valdez, Vinny Galletti. Third to first in the infield, McKeon behind the plate for the aforementioned left-hander, Travis Blackley. And overall for Travis, 0-3, 427 on the earned run average. 40 innings pitched, 35 hits, 25 runs, 19 of them earned, 14 walks, and 45 strikeouts, better than a strikeout per inning for the Diamond southpaw. And this one comes in there for a strike, and it's to Mike Rizzatello, the designated hitter tonight. Eric Thompson is the home plate umpire. Ron Barnes out on the bases this evening. Blackley winds, fires the 0-1, swinging a ground ball. B.J. Gwynn backing up on it, has it, fires over to first, and quickly 2 outs here in the top of the first, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Ryan Witt. So last night, Vallejo getting another win over Sonoma, 7-3, and they really did it with a combination of relievers. Peter Reyes got the start for Vallejo last night, went just 4 innings, but it was an effective 4 as he yielded just the 1 earned run, and then the relief pitchers did the rest. And several Admirals, good nights at the plates for Vallejo. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul back, and that one hits the post. And that's going to have a couple of people flinching back here. The rest of us, well, we've seen that 1,000 times this season. Don't even flinch anymore. Just saying. Blackley, the 0-1 pitch, and that one is on the inside corner, a strike, and the count 0-2. So the Diamonds trying to get the sweep today here against San Rafael, and then Scott alluded to that very important series coming up. That will be in Sonoma starting tomorrow night. Here's a curveball swung on and fouled back, and the count stays 0 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Witt. So Herrera, he was out 4-3. Rizzatello out 5-3. And now Ryan Witt, 0 balls and 2 strikes. Diamonds in their orange. Navy blue for San Rafael. Pitches up high for a ball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Pacific's trying to salvage this series. Angel Mejia getting his first start against Pittsburgh. Maybe the unfamiliarity will be good for Angel. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And it's a 1-2-3 first for Travis Blackley as he picks up the strikeout to end the frame. And after half an inning here from Winter Chevrolet Stadium, it's the Pacific's 0 in the Diamonds coming up. It is back to school night here at Winter Chevrolet Stadium. Scott McDonald is down on the field with some students that in just a couple days will be back in school, and the Diamonds are providing them a special school supply kit. Backpacks, erasers, pencils, pens, paper, everything that they need for a successful semester in school. And they're holding those up right now. And what a treat for all these kids here at Back to School Night right here at Winter Chevrolet Stadium. And the first 50 youngsters that attend tonight's game would get one of those special school supply kits courtesy of the Pittsburgh Diamonds. All right, here's Otomar Valdez to lead off the first. He plays second. B.J. Gwynn bats second. He plays third. Wes Wallace is in center field. He is a third place hitter. Calderon, the cleanup man, he's the DH. Galletti at first base bats fifth. And the first pitch to Otomar is low for a ball. Gerald Bautista in the sixth spot. He's in right field. Marta Corena in the seventh spot. He's in left. McKeon bats eighth. He is the catcher. And Jose Garcia bats ninth. And he is the shortstop, swinging a foul off the bat of Otomar Valdez. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to the Diamond's second baseman. And this group will face the right-hander Angel Mejia of San Rafael, born February the 10th, 95, 6 feet, 165 pounds, and he resides in Pereira. And there's a base hit for Otomar. He resides in Peravia of the Dominican Republic, and he is greeted by Otomar Valdez with a base hit to center field, and that's the way the bottom of the first gets underway.
Dominican versus Dominican. Won by Valdez.
I mean, you could have a whole league with just Dominican players.
We could have a Dominican All-Star game.
It's amazing.
B.J. Gwynn, he's not Dominican, he's from Berkeley.
Well, here is B.J., and in any culture, he can hit.
Yeah.
Left-handed batter waits, and now they're going to chase Otomar back. And we're looking at the stats earlier, Scott and I. 18 stolen bases for Valdez, caught just 6 times, so 75% success rate for Otomar. You'd have to think he'd try to be going. There he goes, and the pitch is a strike. The throw down is not in time, and Otomar steals that one rather easily.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
19 swipes now on the year for Otomar Valdez, and he's in scoring position for B.J. Gwynn, and they count 0-1 to him with Wes Wallace waiting on deck.
Diamonds have put together a 3-game win streak. The first half of the season, they had 2 4-game streaks and a 5-game streak. And so they haven't caught up with themselves at that point. And tonight would be obviously win number 4.
And the pitch to Gwynn. Swinging a ground ball right side. That is foul. It'll bang up against the fence in front of the Diamond dugout, and he's down in the count 0-2. Fastball, changeup, curveball for Angel Mejia. That's the repertoire he'll bring to the ball game. And comes to the Pacifics from the Stallions of the Thoroughbred League. And where else? Lexington, Kentucky. And that pitch hops up there. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that where they have the Kentucky Derby?
In Kentucky?
It's in Lexington. I got the Kentucky part, Scott. But there are different cities in Kentucky.
There are, okay.
Is it Lexington?
For some reason, I think it's another L word.
Churchill Downs is the site. Is it in Lexington? Okay.
But first I've ever heard of it.
We'll get our research staff right on that. Scott?
I'm looking it up right now. That's why we have an internet.
Here's the pitch, swinging a ground ball on one hop to the second baseman, and that's Demetrius Moore, who makes the put out over at first base. So B.J. Gwynn is out, but it's a productive out as Odomar moves down to third base. And the put out goes 4-3. And BJ hit that pretty hard, but he is out number one. Witt, Monger, and Williams left to right in the outfield for San Rafael. Goldstein, Herrera, Moore, and Jake Taylor third to first in the infield. Mark Lindsay behind the plate for the aforementioned right-hander Angel Mejia. Here's
Churchill
Wes
Downs,
Wallace.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky.
And if you're from there, you say it's Louisville.
Louisville.
So it's not Lexington, it's Louisville.
The most famous horse race in the world, I would say.
I think Scott McDonald won that one.
I knew it was from Kentucky. I had that one down. There's a pitch on the outside corner. That's a strike. 0-2.
They play football and basketball in Louisville, too, the Louisville Cardinals.
Ah, yes. The ones with the candy apple red helmets, as I remember, too.
Yeah, they can be.
Can't forget those.
Ethics. Their coaching staff.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Wes Wallace on 3 pitches. So the Diamonds with a runner at third cannot get him home with 1 out. And here comes Jaku Calderon now, 2 outs in the inning.
And we've talked about that, Tony. We've talked about the problem of striking out when you have a runner at third base and fewer than 2 outs. Almost you need to hit the ball to give yourself a chance to score, and unfortunately that did not happen on that play.
Yeah, and that's exactly the situation that you and I are talking about, where it actually hurts.
Yeah.
To just strike out. So a big strikeout there for Angel Mejia, and now the pitch to Calderon is inside for a ball. The count 1 ball and no strikes. And Mejia, a look in, trying to pitch around the leadoff single and the stolen base by Odomar. And that pitch is low for a ball, and the count 2-0. And after Odomar, Vinny Galletti waiting in the on-deck circle if Jaku can keep this one alive. Outfield kind of shades him over a little bit. He's got a lot of room down the left field line. Here's the pitch, and that's outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, you know he's not pitching around Calderon here. Dangerous hitter is Jaku, but the league's leading hitter looms on deck. Calderon left-handed batter, pretty quiet stance. Bat moving up and down over his left shoulder. And the next pitch inside ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Calderon. And here comes Vinny Galletti in that league-leading batting average.
I had a chance to be on the pregame show for the San Rafael Pacifics tonight, and Greg Monroe's asked me about Galletti's hitting, and I said, you know, it's amazing how he can hit to all parts of the baseball diamond. He can, and he doesn't just hit line drives; he hits them where they are not. And I've asked Galletti personally in the profile we did, is this something he tries to do? He said no, he just tries to hit the ball hard, but then he must be the luckiest hitter in all of baseball, because he can hit them completely where they're not. And this kind of lineup, this kind of shift that they do right now.
Pitch is in there, a strike, 0-1.
They've got, the shortstop towards second base, the second baseman over on the outfield grass. They've got the outfield shifted over to the right. The left fielder is way off the left field line. And last night, what does Galletti do? He lines it right down the left field line.
He showed the opposite field power, and another good night for Vinny last night. 2 for 3, double, single, run scored, and a walk. Here's the pitch, swing, and there it is. Down the left field line, a high drive. This one's going to get down. That is going to be a ground rule double. Odomar is going to score. They're going to force Jay Koo to stop at third. Vinny pulls into second with that ground rule double and an RBI. And just like that, the Diamonds lead 1-0. And really, by that ball hopping over the fence, that was a break for San Rafael.
Absolutely, that cost the Diamonds a run because that was going to really be trouble. It was slicing as it hopped, as it bounced. It was going to bounce farther into the corner and away from the left fielder, and Witt was going to have to really make a chase to get it. It might have been a triple for Galletti, and certainly Calderon would have scored.
Absolutely, Calderon would have scored. And just like you said, Scott, they shift all the way over there, and where does Vinny hit it? Right where they should have been. Not that would have been catchable anyway. Swing and a strike for Gerald Bautista as he stands in now. 2 on, 2 out, and a chance to put up the crooked number. Diamonds have broken through with 1, so that unfamiliarity with Angel Mejia, well, it didn't work out here in the first inning as the Diamonds have scored. That one hops up there. A nice block by the catcher, Mark Lindsay.
Bautista appearing 222 with 5 home runs and 17 runs batted in.
Yeah, nearly 70 points down with the average from where he was when he left the Admirals, but you look up, the power number's pretty good as far as the slugging percentage with the number of extra base hits. A 1-1 pitch, and that's way outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
And I happened to be here when the game was over last night. Bautista came over here. He was talking to a friend. He said he wants to go to the gym.
He wanted to go work out. I'm like, boy, that guy's dedicated.
He said he feels weak. Well, let's see if he worked out or not.
I wanted to go home and take a nap or go to bed, actually, at that time. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and one that fades away from him. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hey, Bautista, you're hitter, man. Come on.
So now Mejia trying to pitch around the Jay Koo walk and the Vinny double. Pair of runners out there in scoring position now for Bautista, and the pitch to him, and that's off the outside part of the plate, and Mejia looked like he was running down the mound. I thought maybe he thought that was strike 3, and he was headed to the dugout.
Pretty far outside, off the plate, but
didn't look that close to me. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He does have a base open. There's Marta Corena waiting on deck. Don't necessarily think you'd like to face Marty with the bases loaded. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a foul. That'll roll up toward the dugout of the Pacifics, and the count remains at 3-2.
This is the point in this baseball game. You don't want to have to look back and say, boy, we left runners at second and third in the first inning when we could have had a couple more runs.
Right-handed batter waits. Mejia comes set, payoff pitch again. That one is slammed into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Jay Koo scores. Here comes Vinny headed to the plate. The throw is offline. Vinny scores. It's a 2-out RBI, 2-out, 2 RBI base hit for Gerald Bautista. And there's that crooked number for the Diamonds. It's 3 in the first for Pittsburgh, and they lead it 3-0.
Huge hit for Bautista. Huge hit for the Diamonds. To get those 2 runs, make it 3-0 at this point, absolutely spectacular. And that was just a classic line drive right off his bat. You could just see it flying into left field, and it was just a beautiful shot.
There's Marta Corena now. And you said it, Scott. Even though they got that first one, if they left the runners at second and third, there would have been kind of that lull after the inning. Now they're going to have plenty of momentum going back to the field. So here's Marta Corena now trying to keep it alive. Alex McKeon would be next. Right-handed batter waits, and the pitch to Marty. Fastball in there for a strike, and it's 0-1.
I guess Gerald worked out.
There you go again. Take that with your 220, Tony.
And that sense of dedication, man.
The 0-1 pitch misses high. So Odomar started out with a base hit. B.J. Gwynn bounced out to second. Wes Wallace struck out. Calderon a walk. Vinny an RBI double. Gerald Bautista a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit. Turning a throw over there. Bautista not getting a Very big lead over there at first base.
Yeah, we talked a lot how much Bautista against the Admirals has really played great baseball and hit with power and really tried to show them that they made a mistake trading him. At the same time, they're showing him that they're doing very well without him. That's their one game out of first place.
Swinging a foul, and this one's up against the screen. Well, like I said earlier, Scott, some of the guys that they've kept around are just pitching better, especially those starting pitching. But the newer guys that they've brought in, really particularly Rohrbach and Chris Fernacci, our favorite Admiral, those guys are doing very well.
Diamonds only 3 games against the Admirals left in this season. They've got 6 against Sonoma, and after tonight, 9 against San Rafael.
There's a check swing, and this pitch a little bit outside to Marta Carrera, and they count 2-2.
While it would look good to have 9 against a team that appears to be the weakest in the league at the moment, it's also a detriment not to have a lot of games against a team that you're chasing, if you're chasing them. Or 1 game behind Vallejo, 2 behind Sonoma starting tonight's play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Marta Carrera. Fouls it off. The count remains 2-2. And, you look at a schedule, and this happens in football every year. You look at the schedule and you say, oh, thank God we got them on our schedule. Those guys are stiffs. And then halfway through the season, you realize, boy, they're not that bad anymore. Right. They're actually pretty good.
You can't just count on them. And even the stiffs, well, even if they are stiffs, they can still rise.
They can still beat you.
It's that trap game often that happens in football.
2-2 pitch. Swung on it, missed strike 3. The bat goes flying up against the fence above the Pacific's dugout. No harm, no foul, as no women or children were hurt in the making of this production. Marta Carrera throws the bat, strikes out to end the inning, but the Diamonds get 3, and at the end of 1, it's the Diamonds 3 and San Rafael nothing.
So what happened in their first game? I missed the whole thing.
4-3, 5-3. And the strikeout swinging. All right, Travis Blackley out there for another inning of work. After 1 full, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics nothing. As we get set now for the top of the second inning, Cameron Monger, the center fielder, will lead it off for San Rafael. Jake Taylor to follow, and then Mark Lindsay, the middle part of the order, to face Blackley, who had the 1-2-3 first against San Rafael. We talked about Blackley's ERA at 4.27 so far. Pretty respectable, but when you look at his pitching log, Scott, it just certainly would jump out that he'd be doing quite a bit better than that. Certainly better than 0-3. There's the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
It's just that tough luck that happens to some pitchers, and the opposition, the timing, the whole thing, and he's still pitching a great game and gives the Diamonds a chance to win, and unfortunately, it's just a chance. You have to have the offense, too.
The 0-1 pitch to Cameron Monger, inside for a ball, and the count 1-1. Well, his last outing, that would be August the 4th against the Admirals. He ended up getting the loss in that game. The Diamonds lost 7-1, but he went 7 innings and just gave up 4 runs, swinging a pop-up, and Vinny Galletti going to give it a look over there at first base, and that one is going to be out of play. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike against Cameron Monger. Make that 1-2 against Cameron. And before that, Scott, that was the bad start at the Admirals. He took the loss in that one, July the 29th. 6 innings, 8 earned runs, 9 hits. That was the one real blemish. The other 4, 7 innings, 8 innings, 7. This one's fouled off. And in none of those did he give up more than 3 earned runs. So it's really been that one clunker that makes the ERA look as high as it is.
It's amazing how much of an impact that has for so many pitchers. They have one bad outing, and it really impacts an earned run average, makes the earned run average look unattractive.
Swinging a ground ball, hard shot, backhanded by Garcia, throws to first, not in time. Garcia going into the 5-hole between short and third to backhand that hard shot from Cameron Monger. Was able to get up and make the nice throw over there, but Cameron got down the line in a hurry and just able to beat it out for the infield base hit.
That was pretty amazing that Garcia even got to that baseball and then made an accurate throw from his knees as he was headed towards left field, but apparently he did not get it there in time, and so the Pacifics are trying to get something started here in the second.
Jake Taylor not has not had a very good series so far. Pops this one fouling out of play. He did pick up a base hit yesterday in that near rally at the end of the ball game for San Rafael, but before that he had been 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts in the series. So just 1 for 9 for Jake Taylor so far. And this one is going to be picked off. Monger was going the other way. Vinny's going to toss it. Here comes Jose running it back. Blackley had it, dropped it. There goes Monger to second. The throw is in time to get him. So the Diamonds nearly botched that rundown, but they end up getting the out. Monger is officially caught stealing.
Caught stealing with that Blackley move that we have seen so many times before. Captured, gets people going the wrong direction. And he was going the wrong direction. And in fact, that Galletti dropped ball in some way may have helped because it made Monger think, okay, now I'm going to go all out for second, and it gave Galletti time because had them kind of fooled back and forth there going for a while, and so he was he was dedicated to go to second, and the throw was to Valdez in time, who tagged him out.
Now, how to officially score that, I'd have to see a replay. That was wild. And here is the pitch inside to Jake Taylor, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Brent Gillespie, who homered yesterday, not in the lineup, facing the left-hander Travis Blackley, so he'll be available, I'm sure, for pinch hitting duties. This ball is outside, and the count 2-1. Brent getting a home run last night, running his total to 16. So he, together with Jake Taylor, both providing the power here for this Pacific's lineup, and this one is fouled off left side. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's why it's exceptionally good to get that base runner off the base pass with these guys at the plate. So if you do give up the gopher ball, at least they're not going to get that extra run.
At least it's only 1. Blackley comes set now. And the left-hander deals. The 2-2 pitch swung on it, missed strike 3. So the Diamonds pitching so far through this series has handled the most powerful guy in the association. 1 for 10, 5 strikeouts.
And these have been close games. So those are very important outs because those are the RBI producers. And it's been two-run victories for the Diamonds both nights.
So here comes Mark Lindsay. He'll get a chance here. Nobody aboard, 2 outs. And the pitch to Mark, and that's a fastball in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So far for San Rafael, they get the 1 hit in this inning, the infield hit from Monger. But he is picked off and officially caught stealing. This ball is hit hard, deep to left field. And Marta Carrena goes back, and he'll make the catch in front of the warning track. And it's almost a 1-2-3 inning as the Travis Blackley actually faces the minimum here through 2. And after 1.5 from Winter Chevrolet Stadium, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics 0. Bottom of the second inning we go. McKeon, Garcia, and then back to the top of the order for Otomar Valdez. The 8-9-1 hitters to face Angel Mejia here as we begin the home half of the second from Pittsburgh's Winter Chevrolet Stadium. Diamonds going for the sweep tonight. And if things work out the way they hope, they're going to wake up tomorrow morning just 1 game off the pace in the Pacific Association standings. Here's McKeon, and he takes outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes, and Rendazzo subbing for McKeon yesterday. Joe had a very nice night at the plate.
I think talking to Aaron Miles about that, he was kind of surprised.
Outside.
Pleasantly
for a ball,
surprised.
2-0.
But they have concerns about McKeon's got arm pain, and he's got other, he gets beaten up a lot. We know that.
Yeah.
And Aaron feels the same way.
2-0 pitch is outside, 2-1, 3-0.
So they're maybe taking their toll, the bruises. And, Chad Heiberger's got a knee injury, so he has been taken off the active roster. Trying to get that rehabbed, but probably not going to happen this season.
3-0 pitch, way inside. McKeon draws the walk. And here comes Jose Garcia. He of the 3-run blast yesterday, proving to be the difference in the game, and his 4th home run of the season. And he had shown us the power earlier. Yeah. We hadn't seen that power in quite a while, but again, the little guy can go yard.
A big moment in the game last night, too, to give a 3-run shot over the fence. Yeah, my earlier campaign to compare Jose to Babe Ruth didn't quite go very far, but, but now he's back. Home run number 4.
Here's the pitch to Jose, and that's outside for a ball. That is 5 straight misses here for Angel Mejia. And he's walked the leadoff man and now followed behind 1-0 to Jose Garcia. And Mejia began his career in 2013 with the DSL Phillies before being traded to San Diego, where he spent 3 seasons. Made it as high as Advanced A Lake Elsinore, but spent the majority of his first 2 seasons with Tri-City of the Northwest League. So there's some more of that, the baseball odyssey that we talked about. And of course, Joe Torre the other night was talking to you about Cameron Monger and all the different places he's been. And these guys, they just pile up the frequent flyer miles.
They do. And Joe Torre is going to come visit us again in the 4th inning. So hold your questions.
Swing and a miss. It looked like something off speed that time from Mejia. That may have been his changeup there. And they count 1 ball and 1 strike.
Joe, with his Black Sox background, knows, may know minor league baseball better than anybody else in the country because they travel the country playing everybody, and so he gets to know them. Ooh,
boy, this one caroms off the pitcher Mejia, and the third baseman Goldstein doesn't know where it is. It'll be picked up by Herrera behind third base. That is going to be an infield base hit for Jose Garcia, and the first 2 have reached here against Mejia and the Pacifics, and now they're going to check and make sure. Let's see if Mejia is okay. It looked like he got hit in the leg with that one, but no trainer coming out.
Body? It was odd how it just took off up in the sky. That was Jose showing his Barry Bonds power, and right off the pitcher. And thank God he's doing all right because that's just an area of danger.
Talk about a tough guy. He doesn't even want any warm-up tosses. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
That ball looked like it hit him pretty hard, and then with the carom, it especially looked like it hit him hard.
The hardest hit ball was that one on Morrell last Friday night.
Oh, boy. And then here's the bunt up the third base line. That one is going to roll, and stay there. That's going to be a bunt base hit for Otomar Valdez.
He picked it up just a little bit too early. I think he thought it was foul when he picked it up.
I think he got frustrated because he was looking at it. He was hoping it was going to roll foul, and it just looked like it just stuck to that line, rolling up from home plate toward third base.
And it couldn't have been clearer that it was sitting on the line. It was just standing on the line.
Oh, boy.
So what is that scored as?
It's a bunt base hit.
Okay. You heard it from the official scorer.
And they felt like they were not going to have a play on him if they field the ball. They were hoping it would roll foul, and it didn't. Here's the pitch, a changeup to B.J. Gwynn, and that's in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So now the first 3 have reached here in the inning, and the ball has not left the infield. Well, technically off the bat has not left the infield. Off Mejia, It did reach short left field down the third base line. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball, and the count 1-1.
This is just a huge opportunity for Gwynn and Wallace and Calderon, who are all going to be coming up here with Wallace. And they can really make this a large Diamonds lead if they can get a hit. Because you got speed on the base pass.
Certainly in position to do that. Bases loaded for Gwynn. That pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Beautiful evening here at the ballpark. Bit of a breeze blowing through the grandstand. You can see the flag beyond the batter's eye in center field moving quite a bit, but just a gorgeous evening for baseball. Still tickets available if you're in earshot. Come on down to the ballpark. There's a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Precious few games left for the Diamonds here. They will have, after tonight, 3 against the Pacifics. And then 3 against the Admirals. 3 against the Stompers here at home.
Here comes set, the 2-2 to B.J. Gwynn, and that is just off the inside part of the plate. And the count goes full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Mejia with a walk to McKeon, an infield hit by Garcia that went off of Mejia, and then Odemar Valdez with a bunt that couldn't have been any better up the third baseline that just stuck to the chalk and stayed fair. And B.J. Gwynn trying to pick up another crooked number here in this inning for the Diamonds. And the pitch swung on it, missed strike 3, and one that was high and wide. I think that was probably ball 4.
Yep, but it's high, and that gets up in that batter's eyeballs, and they just sometimes cannot resist taking a swing at it, and that was a good example of it. Gwynn is usually a smarter batter than that, but everyone has their moments. Now, with just one out, and the base is loaded, they're going to have a conversation on the mound. Nick DeBar is going to talk to his pitcher, and it sounded, from his hand motions, it looks like he's saying, calm down. But we can only imagine that. Eric Thompson's going to go out and say, that's enough of this conversation. No one is warming up in the Pacific Space bullpen, so this was just a calm down conversation.
In any event, that was a big strikeout of B.J. Gwynn for Angel Mejia to get the first out of the inning. Now he's got Wes Wallace up there, who struck out the first time. His first time, he's 0 for 1. And of course, that has been his one weakness at the plate, and that is that he's been vulnerable to the strikeout. And certainly Angel Mejia could use another one of those right now. First pitch to Wes, swung on and missed. Another ball fading away from him. That looked like the changeup coming from Mejia, and that was a good one. So Wallace not waiting around. He was jumping on the first pitch, but just could not reach it. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2.
Good job. Have a contact there. Here we go.
So Mejia, after digging himself a hole here in the inning, setting up the Diamonds with the bases loaded and nobody out, trying to get punch out number 4. Picked up 3 strikeouts already. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Wes Wallace. And here comes Jaku Calderon. Couple of big strikeouts here for Angel Mejia to get outs number 1 and 2.
Took B.J. Gwynn 3 and 2, and then got him to strike out on what looked like ball 4, and Wallace went down 1, 2, 3 pitches. So Mejia, whatever his conversation with Nick DeBar was, apparently took note.
It worked. Here's Calderon now, and the pitch right here, swinging a foul back in the count, 0-1. Diamonds with 5 hits already, but what a shot in the arm this would be to San Rafael if Mejia can strand the bases loaded.
Diamonds last inning got 2 runs in after 2 were out, so they have a similar opportunity here with Calderon at the plate.
Pitch to Jaku. That's a fastball just off the outside part of the plate. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors so far for the Diamonds. 0-1-0 for San Rafael. Runner at every base for Pittsburgh. 2 down now. Jaku trying to pick him up. Pitch swung on. That ball's into right field, but that's very playable for Miles Williams. Going back, reaches up, makes the catch ahead of the warning track, and the inning is over. The Diamonds with the bases loaded and nobody out do not score. And at the end of 2 full from Winter Chevrolet Stadium, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics nothing. For the third we go, it'll be Zach Goldstein, the third baseman, Miles Williams, and then Demetrius Moorer, the bottom 3 in the order, here to face Travis Blackley. And, some good news and bad news for the Diamonds. They lead it 3-0. That's the good news, but they leave the bases loaded in that last half inning with nobody out. They cannot get a run across, and that's the bad news.
They had an opportunity to bury the Pacifics in runs right there, and they did not come through. 3-0 is a nice lead, but it's not 6-0.
Pitch to Goldstein, and that is in there for a strike. And you look down as we go the rest of this game, Scott, that could be one of those turning points of the game. Right there in the bottom of the second. There's a good look at Zach Goldstein here on BayAreaSports.tv. 0-1 pitch to Zach, swung on, hit hard into right field. Jaku ranging over, he won't get it. He'll play it on a hop, and it's a leadoff base hit for the Pacific's third baseman.
And it's not that you're going to hit a grand slam in all of those instances, but you do, you've got nobody out. You've got runners at first, second, and third. You should be able to get a run in. As you pointed out, and as we were between innings, a double play would have scored a run.
On the first occasion, certainly.
Yeah, and so to give that up is really, really not being efficient. And that's not a very good sentence.
Here's the pitch, and that is low to Miles Williams, the right fielder now. So a couple of hits in the ball game for San Rafael. Cameron Monger got the first one leading off the second inning. He was picked off. And now Goldstein here leading off the third. And the pitch, 1-0, swung on. That ball's hit hard, way back into left field, way back, and that one is gone. That one's going to roll out onto Railroad Avenue. It's a 2-run bomb for Miles Williams, and just like that, Scott, it's 3-2.
We hate to say I told you so. Does anybody really hate to say I told you so? I think I always enjoy it.
That's almost a gloating moment. So 39 RBIs now for Miles Williams as he leaves the yard. And I believe that's home run number 10 for him on the year.
We get these beautiful shots on BayAreaSports.tv, and let us be the first to say happy birthday to Timothy Banks. Tomorrow is his birthday, and he is the guy who's producing all of this and bringing us these wonderful pictures. So thank you, Timothy, and happy birthday.
He's the one-man band. That's one is low for a ball, and he, I've been working with Tim for a number of years, even though he can never remember my name.
Steve.
But calls me everything except Tony, but I got to tell you, he just does really good work, and he just gets better and better. Here's the pitch, and that one is just outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes, and he and I have had a number of opportunities to work together, including on some of the Delta TV telecasts when we had Antioch football this past year. Here's Blackley's 2-0 pitch, and that is low for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. So after a couple of innings, when Travis had faced the minimum after picking off Cameron Monger following his infield base hit, this one is going to be high for a ball 4 to Demetrius Moorer as he's on board. All of a sudden, Travis Blackley has run into trouble here in the third.
Yeah, he faced the minimum through 2 innings. He did give up a base hit, but then he picked that runner off, and now he has given up a single, a home run, and a walk in the third inning. Has taken a 3-0 lead down to 3-2, and the Pacifics have no outs.
How quickly things can change. Boy, what a complete turn of events here in Pittsburgh. It looked like the Diamonds were going to extend their 3-0 lead, and now all of a sudden they're down to just a 1-run lead, and that is another runner picked off. Throw over to first, and Miles Williams, Demetrius Moore, is caught stealing as he is picked off by Travis Blackley, and what a great move by Travis.
Yeah, that if the Diamonds pitchers, here's a replay. Look at that. It doesn't look, it is deceptive. I mean, you can tell how it is difficult to know what he is doing, but the runners have no idea, and they go the wrong direction.
Swinging a foul straight back as we go back to the top of the order for Juan Herrera. And you notice on that pickoff move, as he's making that move and then going toward first base, he's still, for that brief moment, looking toward home plate.
Yeah. Bottom of the third, Vallejo 2, Sonoma 1.
Wow. And the Vallejo Admirals just keep rolling on here in the second half. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball in there, a strike, and the count 0-2.
These games are in Sonoma, and they start at 6, so we get a half hour. They get a half-hour lead on us, but that allows us to usually get their final in before we get off the air here. So fun to follow that.
0-2 pitch, that one hops up there, and McKeon takes another shot.
He is in pain. I don't know if that's the family jewels or if it's his abdomen, but wherever it is, it hurts, and you can just tell he is in pain.
And Eric Thompson doing the right thing, walking out to home plate to give him a little bit of time to shake out the termites. And
here comes Maria.
Here comes the trainer for Pittsburgh.
Trainer. She is, this is not, it's a difficult subject to discuss on television, but I have a real concern that whatever protective gear he's wearing is clearly not doing the job.
And if I was Alex McKeon, I would take up another position.
He does a fine job. He likes being catcher.
It just hurts.
I'm concerned that his protective gear is not doing its job. I mean, really, this is a situation that is designed not to happen. And that poor guy, man. So he is still in the game.
He must be the human bruise.
We've got to be, from top to bottom. That's why Randazzo is such an important person in this Diamonds lineup, because McKeon needs some time off.
1-2 pitch, a little chin music that time, brushing Herrera off the plate, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Juan, a bouncer to second. His first time he's 0 for 1. Bases empty, 1 out, but 2 in on the Miles Williams bomb to left field. Here's the pitch, swung on it, missed. Strike 3, and that is out number 2.
Well, apparently one pickoff play and you kind of get your mojo back, because now, after it looked like things were headed south, all of a sudden they're 2 down, nobody on.
And 3 strikeouts as Rizzatello stands in. 3 strikeouts for Blackley now. He's gotten 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. It was Whit Taylor, and now Juan Herrera. 2 outs, nobody aboard, 2 in here for the Pacific Swing. That ball's hit to the right side, into right field. Here comes Bautista ranging over, reaches up, makes the catch, nearly overran that one. And that is out number 3, and the inning is over, but Miles Williams with a 2-run home run here in the inning. And after 2.5, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics 2.
Here comes the Diamonds!
All right, to the bottom of the 3rd inning we go. And here comes Vinny Galletti to lead it off for Pittsburgh, a 3-2 game. And we talked about how quickly things can change. Diamonds looked like they were going to explode on San Rafael in that second after loading the bases with nobody out. But Angel Mejia able to pick up a couple of strikeouts and pitch around that jam. And then in the top of the 3rd, the last half inning, Miles Williams, following a Zach Goldstein base hit, goes yard. And just like that, it's a 1-run game. And Vinny Galletti takes a fastball in there for a strike, and it's 0-1.
You're absolutely right. It looked like the Diamonds are ready to run away with this thing, and now they're it's nip and tuck, and every at-bat is important, including this one.
Ground ball to second, picked up there by Moore, and he makes the play over to first. And Moore with a couple of chances tonight in his pro debut playing second base, and so far so good for Demetrius over at the second base bag.
He's doing better at second base than he did running the bases, because he got he got picked off, and that was not even close at first base. That throw to first, he was just out.
So Vinny's out 4-3. Here comes Bautista, big 2-out, 2-run base hit, takes outside for a ball here. 1 ball with no strikes. And very early on, long way to go here, Scott, but how big does that base hit by Bautista look now?
Exactly. To come through at that point, we were talking about how important it was to get those runs in, and he came through with a hard line drive single. They sent Galletti from second. It was so hard you thought maybe he won't be able to score, but the throw was offline, and Galletti had an easy time of it.
2-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 2-1 now to Gerald. Marta Correa waits on deck as we get a look at Angel Mejia, and the wind delivered, and this one is outside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Mejia has a big mohawk of blonde hair running through the top of his head that peeks out the back of his cap. When he takes off his cap, you'll see the rest of the blonde hair.
And the 3-1 pitch, and that is low for ball 4. So Gerald Bautista picks up the walk. 1 on, 1 out now for Marta Correa. And you look at the hairdo by Angel Mejia, and looks like he's taking some tips from Sammy Gervasio at the Admiral.
They might get their haircut at the same spot. Javier Marta Correa, not part of the Dominican dance. He is a Cuban. He's got Cuban heritage.
Okay, here's Marty now, 1 on and 1 out. McKeon waits on deck. Diamonds lead it by 1. It's 3-2. Marty is first time struck out. That ended that first inning after the Diamonds had played it 3, and the pitch to Marty swung on and hit hard, but well foul left side, and that'll be over into the soccer field.
Yeah, that might have landed in Havana.
That one might have scored a goal.
Wouldn't that be funny in the middle of a soccer game?
Probably the only goal that was going to be scored.
Here comes the ball. The crowd goes crazy.
I'm teasing soccer fans.
How many soccer jokes can you tell in a night? Well, you're only allowed one.
The 0-1 pitch, swinging at one foul, wide of third, and they count quickly 0-2 to Marta Corena. But our very own Sarah tells me yesterday that she plays indoor soccer.
Well, and Sarah is quite, she was on a soccer scholarship. She went to college in Kansas Wesleyan. And
let's pull up Sarah's bio and get this out there. This is
assistant
more
general
interesting
manager
by the day.
Our assistant general manager, Sarah Groton, the pride of Benicia.
The 0-2 pitch, swing, that one's hit hard. Left field, that chases Witt back, way back, still going back. This one's going to one-hop the wall. Bautista around second, he'll head for third. They'll put on the brakes there. It's a one-out double for Marta Corena. Second and third, and one down for Pittsburgh. So here comes Alex McKeon as Marta Corena has doubled for the Diamonds. That is their second double of the ball game. Vinny had the other one.
I thought that ball was out for sure. I thought
too.
It was headed out of here. I was shocked that it didn't quite clear the wall, but a big old double for Marty Corena, and the Diamonds are in business.
Runners at second and third, still one out, so the Diamonds can get a run without the benefit of a base hit in the situation. And let's see if they talk about efficiency. They got it done in the first, did not get it done in the second. Here's the pitch, and that is in there, a strike, and they count 0-1 to Alex McKeon.
Kind of low on the strike, so not a good pitch to hit for a fly ball on anyway. McKeon watched it go by.
So McKeon, a leadoff walk in that second to get things started. And he was left stranded at third base. Here's the pitch, swing and a foul right side. That'll get out of play. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. There's a look at Jake Taylor, who was giving that last foul ball a look. Well, Jake's been awfully quiet in this series, which kind of worries me a little bit. I'm sure that's got to worry Diamond fans, because you figure he's going to come out of it sooner or later, and you just hope that it's going to be later. The 0-2 pitch, and that's way outside and low, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Extra pressure on Rizzatello, the catcher here for the Pacifics, to make sure that he corrals each one of these pitches, especially against his opposing catcher. But just 90 feet away is Bautista, anxious to come down the third base line.
So Mejia trying to pitch around some traffic again. That one is going to hit Alex McKeon.
That's nothing.
Took him. Takes that one in the shoulder. No problem whatsoever as he trots on down to first base.
Whatever.
What's a fastball in the shoulder?
My God. Even as a batter, even in the batter's box, he's hit by the ball.
That one won't even leave a mark.
My goodness.
Bases full of Diamonds, second inning a row. They have had the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded in the last inning with nobody out. They get them loaded here with 1 out. And here comes Jose Garcia, who was left stranded at second base in that last inning after being a part of that bases loaded situation. Right-handed batter waits. Mejia takes the look in, has the sign for Mark Lindsay now, and the pitch. And that is a fastball on the outside corner. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to Jose.
Well, there's been a concern about Garcia expressed by Aaron Miles that he's hitting the ball too much in the air. But right here, hitting one in the air would be a plus. If you can't get a base hit, that at least would probably get the run home.
I bet he wasn't complaining about the one in the air last night.
No, I haven't heard any complaints about that.
That one hops up there. Lindsay with the block with the chest protector. It rolls up the first baseline, but there's Mark to claim it before the runners have a chance to move up.
That sure would have been an interesting play at the plate if Bautista had decided to go, because it kept rolling away from Rizzatello. Mejia was running down towards home, but it would have been a difficult throw, and I'm not sure. It would been interesting to see how that one came out. Garcia with a gold label on his bat.
Here comes Mejia now. The 1-1 pitch, and that's outside, 2 balls and a strike. So Galletti started the inning with a ground ball to Moorer at second. Gerald Bautista a walk, Marta Carrena a ringing double to left field. McKeon hit by a pitch, and the 2-1 pitch due here to Jose Garcia. Here's the pitch, and that was sprayed right side as he slaps that one down into the Diamond bullpen, and the count goes 2-2.
Smart hitting, though. If the ball's out there, go with the pitch, knock it down the right field line. It looked like if it stayed fair, it didn't look, Taylor is playing off the line. He's not holding on the runner. And it would have been a difficult play for him.
Diamond's another golden opportunity to pick up some runs. 2-2 pitch, and a check swing. Ball gets away. I think he held up. And Lindsey's going to find the ball. That was going to be ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I thought it was pretty close on whether he swung or not. And he may have been lucky they decided not to call that a swing. And of course, as you pointed out, the field ump in this situation is not in the best location to call that because he's over by second base. But he was asked, and he said no swing.
So a new life, maybe a break that time for Pittsburgh, although I kind of looked like he did hold up. But I'm not in the best position to make the call either. 3-2 pitch, swung on, a little looper. Demetrius Moorer going back from second. He's there now to take it for the out. He'll soft toss this one back in, taken by Taylor near the pitcher's mound. And Jose Garcia is out number 2 on the pop to second.
Another good play by Moorer at second, and Garcia hit that in the air, but not far enough to score Bautista. And especially when you got an outfielder playing second base, and he's got a decent arm, or he should have a decent arm, and that was not anywhere close enough to even try to score. So it's going to be up to Valdez here with 2 down, and the base is loaded.
So here's Odomar now, a base hit, stolen base, and a run scored in the first. Got himself a bunt base hit. And he was stranded at first following that in the second inning.
A squeeze play right now would be brilliant. And look at third base.
Fastball in there for a strike. Way, way back is Goldstein and well off the line at third base. So Bautista is at third, Marta Carrena at second, McKeon at first. Diamond's looking to make some more 2-out noise. They got a pair with 2 outs in the first. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And they count 1 ball and 1 strike.
You can see in the shot we had before, we'll probably get it again. We have where that third baseman is. He is way off the line, and Valdez, who is probably the best bunter on the team, if he were to lay it down that third base line, Bautista would score easily.
Yeah, nobody's going to throw him out. Here's the pitch, and that one hops up there. And Mark Lindsey, a nice job. The Hoover upright behind the plate right now as he has been able to smother these ones in the dirt. And that's got to give a pitcher with a runner at third a whole lot of confidence to throw whatever he wants.
Because not everybody can do that. And we've noticed, like, if you're doing economic evaluation of baseball here, the third base, having third base, a runner at third base, is of more value at this level of baseball than it is at other levels.
No question.
Above it.
Takes you about a week to find that out. Here's a swing and a ground ball right side and foul, and the count goes 2-2. I mean, you can watch Major League Baseball games, Scott, and not see the pass ball or a wild, but you could watch a whole game easily and not see them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At this level, not so much.
A couple games you don't see. I mean, those are several levels of baseball, you say that, and nobody who is involved here is of any illusion that that's not the case.
Right.
People are very straightforward, and they know what level of baseball this is. And there are some people who are going to go much higher, and some people who are this is going to be it. But it's all played with a passion and desire and a love of baseball.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Odomar Valdez. Bases full of Diamonds, 2 down. And the pitch from Mejia is outside, ball 3, and the runner's now going to get a jump off the base paths as they will be running with the pitch. So this is not where Mejia wanted to get this, but he's in danger right now. If Odomar were able to get one into the gap or down the lines, it would surely score 3.
Alex McKeon, the catcher, at first, but he could still, with this jump, he would have a chance to get around those bases.
Jake Taylor playing behind him at first, so McKeon at first base will get a huge lead. There go the runners. Here's the pitch. Sliced foul left side. Hit pretty deep, but that'll be well foul, and that'll bounce into the Pacific's bullpen down the third base line. So the runners return to their respective bases, and we'll do it all over again. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Odomar. Already a pair of base hits for Valdez here in the ball game, and Diamond's trying to extend what is now a 1-run lead. Mejia, a long look into his battery mate, Mark Lindsay. Here's the payoff pitch. Runners go. Slammed. Moore's got it at second base. Stays down nicely and throws him out. And the Diamonds, for the second inning in a row, leave the bases loaded. And at the end of 3, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics 2. All right, here we go now to the top of the 4th inning. The Diamonds lead the Pacifics 3-2. And for more play-by-play and bringing in his special guest, Joe Torre, here's Scott McDonald.
Thank you, Tony. We are ready to go for the top of the 4th inning here, and it's going to be for the Pacifics, Ryan Witt, and then Cameron Monger, 2 of the newer Pacifics. Ryan Witt had his debut for them last night, and Jake Taylor will be the 3rd batter. And the first pitch to Witt is swung on a miss for a strike, and it's 0-1. Diamonds leading 3-2 here. They hope that they don't regret that they've left so many people on base here in the first 3 innings. They left 6 runners on base in 3 innings, and they are leading by 1 run, which would be tough. This pitch falls into the strike zone. It's 0-2, and out in front of the count is Travis Blackley, who has had 1 rough inning and 2 other very strong innings. And with us here is Joe Torre, back from visiting with us on Tuesday night, and he got such rave reviews we brought him back. This ball lined into center field for a base hit, and that's going to be a runner at first with nobody out and Ryan Witt is just tearing up the baseball since he just joined Pacifics last night. He was 3 for 5, and that's his 4th hit against the Diamonds in 2 games, and so he's on to first with
Heard
1
about
out.
that kid
Nobody
all
out.
summer.
Pardon?
Heard about that kid all summer.
Oh, this guy, Ryan Witt?
Yeah, his coaches were calling me, telling me to help him out. And I was trying to figure out something for him.
And where was he before?
Pecos League.
And what was he doing there? Do you know what his average was? Or?
I don't know. I remember going over it at the time. But they had a pretty good offense over there. They had a few guys that could swing it.
To Monger is a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. He's up here, Monger, who singled his first time up and then was the first person picked off in this ball game. 2 have been picked off by Blackley.
Yeah, Blackley's got that big league move, man.
That is a mean move.
It's tough. You don't know what to look for.
Swing and a miss by Monger, and it's 1-1. So Ryan Witt gets picked up by the Pacifics. Now he comes over here. So he was tearing up the baseball there. This is just a continuation of what he was doing.
Pretty much, yeah. The season ended there, and he was looking for a job. He wasn't one of the playoff teams, and I guess he's one of the guys on Kavanaugh's list, and Kavanaugh grabbed him. There's a couple spots open this week.
This pitch is swung on a miss by Monger.
Moved Brill left for Florence today, so he'll be in the Frontier League by tomorrow playing, or tomorrow the next day. So that's why you see Moorer at second and the open roster spot, and then the new outfielder.
And Moore is doing a good job at second.
Yeah.
I heard this is his first start ever at second base.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
He does all the infield. He does all the work with them, the pregame work and all the infield work with them at second base. So, yep, he gets his reps there just in case. So he's been ready.
The 1-2 pitch to Monger is lined right back up the middle, but there's Garcia behind second. He steps on the bag and throws to first for the double play.
How about that other ball earlier? Hit off the pitcher and what, the third baseman couldn't see it?
Yeah, I don't think Goldstein knew where the ball was.
Plus the sun there for like an inning. You get that glare coming from down the third baseline into his eyes too. I wasn't sure if that was a factor, but that's another. Those are our shadows.
Yeah.
Those are the Pittsburgh shadows. Have right there at third base, kind of in the 6 hole, and then it moves over the bag there for a couple innings.
There are a couple in the early season. There were really bright sunshine in the eyes of left fielder, shortstop, anybody on the left side of the baseball team.
Yeah, it changes as the summer goes on, I think.
The sun goes down earlier.
Yeah.
This pitch is fouled back by Taylor, who's up here now with nobody on and 2 down, and he's been very quiet in this series, except for last night in the 9th inning when the Diamonds had second. The Pacifics had second and third, and it looked like, this is not going to go the way they want, but they got out of that.
Yeah. Well, Jake will do that, man. He's got the big swing.
Pitches a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strike to Taylor. The team must be excited. 2 games out of first place, 1 game behind Vallejo, a chance to go to Sonoma and really take control.
Yeah, I think Vallejo's winning right now, too.
Yeah, they are.
A little bit of help.
That's a foul, fouled away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Seems like the starting, what Aaron's been saying all season about the starting pitching is starting to. You tried some different guys out, and you went Agnew Island and then Solano, and you can really try some things because your guys are durable. Some can start, some can go in the pen. We did it with Gunn back when he had the blister on the finger.
Yeah. Agnew Whelan has really come on to be a star. Coming in the middle of games. That ball goes all the way to the backstop, and poor Alex McKeon battered again today. Right now, it is 2-1 Vallejo. Tony tells us, and I can't read what inning that is, but it's the 4th inning. So that is a good news for the Diamonds, although the Stompers can turn that around in a second. The 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. It's a full count now to Taylor.
Well, like we talked about, all those games are starting to become playoff games. These are all playoff series here at the end when everybody's kind of neck and neck. So there's going to be a lot of 2-1 ball games and 3-2 here, and it's going to be like that for a couple weeks now.
It's been interesting in the sense that there were a lot of double-digit scores in the first half. Not so much now. Ball 4 to Taylor, and he'll go take first base with 2 down, and that'll bring up Mark Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay's been big asset for Kavanaugh over there. Every once a week, go in there and hit 315 and get a couple knocks. He looks like he lost some weight too. He's been eating good.
He's putting on weight.
Blackley wanted that pitch right there on Taylor. I think he thought it was there. And as the season goes on, guys thin out. Before Brill left, he was thinning out a little bit. It's either you can add weight, maintain weight, or thin out. Good job by McKeon there. That was good. That was
he
tough.
went and got it, but it sure looked like Taylor could have gone if he wanted to.
I don't know. Jake Taylor knows
not that
his
fast.
limits. And and McKeon did a real good job getting around that. That's a tough pitch there from a lefty that he just circled around. And right now, the 3-2 game, you're not going to give up third out, second base. Blackley's really tough to hit in the first place. So
1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch to Lindsay is a strike, and it's 1-1. 3 runs and 6 hits for the Diamonds, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Pacifics. The Diamonds came out, scored 3 runs in the first inning, and have been threatening to score more both in the second and the third, and came away empty-handed. The Pacific scored 2 in the top of the third, and that's where we stand here now in the top of the fourth. And this pitch is a strike, and it's 1-2 now to Lindsay with Jake Taylor on at first base. The Diamonds did not get the hit they needed in the second or the third inning, and that has to hurt.
Yeah, we need to be more selectively aggressive at the plate with second and third there and get a better pitch to drive in and attack that pitch and drive him in instead of kind of hit the pitcher's pitch and try to go inside out on a ball that's inside.
This is a high fly ball to the right side, and Bautista is there. He makes a little hop to catch the ball. And he does, and that's out number 3.
Just
so
making sure he had it.
No runs. No runs, no hits. A runner left at first, but no run. Excuse me, there was a hit. 1 hit. A runner left, and at the end of 3.5, the score, the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics 2. Jay Gwynn was going to step up here. He'll be followed by Wes Wallace and J.Q. Calderon. We're spending time with Joe Torre again, injured coach for the Diamonds. And that's a weird title, but you are injured. And how is? I know you get tired of answering this probably, but how's your leg doing?
It's all right. No, it's good. I'm not tired of answering it. It's people care, and that matters to me. But it's all right. It's healing every day, and I just got to stay off of it and take some more time to heal, and I'll be all right. I'll be doing something in the fall actively. Just take the rest of the summer here. And
Gwynn danced away from that first pitch, and so it's 1 ball and no strike to him. He's got a 1-0 pitch against Angel Mejia, who comes to the plate and he fouls it away, and it's 1-1.
A lot of balls to Gwynn lately, huh?
Yeah.
With the lineup change.
That's a smart attitude, to take your time and let it heal correctly and get it.
Oh, instead of coaching third base every day? Yeah, that was the most pain I've ever been.
This pitch is lined to right side, and it's going to be right at the right fielder, Williams, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, coach, that was pretty bad. I mean, I've been hit, and I've had some injuries playing over time, but coaching third there. It was just I couldn't even get back to my dugout. I laid outside of their dugout on the ground. I laid on the bleachers. I couldn't make it back, even on the crutches. The thing was just burning.
Well, Dr. McDonald and Dr. Schultz thought that was a bad idea.
It was a bad idea. It was
we're glad to see you here. Got his leg up. I want you to know that he is sitting next to us here at the Tony Schultz broadcasting booth with his leg up.
Yeah.
So do not worry about Joe Torre's.
But I was on the field earlier today. We did about 2 hours of pitchers versus hitters, and I had some pitchers come in and throw, so I was actually on my feet for, we got to be on the field doing something. All the players now at the end of the season are coming here to work out for me because they've played for me before, and they want me to help them get somewhere else. And that kind of Ryan Witt, this kid who hit the 15 homers.
Yeah. Well, just a 1-1 pitch is outside. 2-1 to Wes Wallace.
Yeah,
so that's why we've seen this collection of players here. Mm-hmm. They're coming to work out with you.
Right. Well, I mean, they've already worked out with me. They did the spring training tour, and their season's over, and they all live on the East Coast. So the idea coming here is to get their plan to go back home. There's no point driving across the country and skipping the Frontier League and American Association if there's a chance to play there. So we set them up with a roadmap home, and now we have guys, I think 3 or 4 of them left today. And it's not that they'll definitely sign there. It's about knocking off the teams early this year. So next year, if the team says, no, I don't like the kid, well, then we won't stop there and play.
1 out, 2-2 count on Wes Wallace. The pitch to him is swung on, and he lifts it to the right side, and it's going to be Demetrius Moore, who's about his 10th play at second base, even though it's his first time there.
They'll find you.
Supposedly, and the ball finds you. That's one of the great lines about baseball, and he has found the ball. So he has not had any problem playing for second base so far tonight.
Yeah, the telling tale usually with the second baseman is turning the double play and the situational runners on the corners, bunt plays, and things like that. That's what I'm more interested in that than I am. I mean, he should be. He'll
First pitch to Calderon is a strike. It's 0-1.
He'll make the plays. Cover some ground.
Nobody on, 2 outs, and he is playing deep on the short on the outfield grass. 5 putouts for Demetrius Moore. Thank you, Tony, and a shift on for Calderon. Now here's an interesting thing. Galletti is on deck. They shift for Galletti, much like they do for Calderon here. They've got the outfield shifted slightly. The infield shift is more pronounced. Pitch to Calderon. He whacks this one to left center field, and that is going to be where they ain't. And that ball is picked up by the left fielder, Witt, and thrown back in. Calderon with a 2-out single, and the Diamonds have a runner at first.
Nobody playing there.
No, even though they shifted over, maybe not shifted enough. But with Galletti, they have the same shift, and twice, last night and tonight, he's lined it down the left field line, and they've moved that left fielder away from the left field line, and it doesn't seem to make any sense.
I mean, it's a combination of how they pitch him and how he swings it. You don't change your swing based on the shift. And Vin learned that early. There was a game, I don't know if you remember, back when he tried to bunt.
Pitches a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strike.
Remember, he tried to bunt. The third baseman was playing shortstop, and there was no third baseman earlier in the year. He tried to bunt, and then he got hit in the leg, I think, later in that at-bat. Well, when Aaron Miles went up to him on the ground, he said, that's what you get for trying to bunt into the shift. He said, you go up and you swing it into the shift, and you hit a double.
Bound right side foul, and it's 1-1.
So when those balls are landing like that, that's just probably a mistake, and the hitter's just doing his thing and hitting the ball.
But, he hits to all parts of the baseball field. He has done that all season. And so it's a little odd, it seems to me, to have such a pronounced shift. That left fielder especially way off the line, even though 2 line drives down left field line in 2 games. Here's a pitch. That's a ball, 2-1. Calderon at first, 2 down.
Well, the thing is this. If he hits it down the line, there's a good chance on either line it's a double no matter what. So if you play in the gap, you take away that chance for the double a little bit.
In the middle.
Yeah, because if he's going gap to gap there, it could be more than a double.
So the shift, that pitch is inside. So Calderon, if he had hit that without the shift on, you're saying could have been a gapper and a 2-base hit.
Right, exactly, because they're going to play so much to the pull there. I mean, anything down the line could be automatic double. So I mean, if you're going to cut them down in the gap, and and the other thing is, you don't shift outfielders that much in and out. They shift right left away from the line, whatever. But the infield shift is interesting to me, the way they.
Galletti hits this one to the right side. Taylor able to stop it, but then it bounced out of his glove, but he picks it back up, steps on first, out number 3.
Interesting.
Jake Taylor very busy on that play, but he comes through and makes an out of it. Galletti out number 3, and we're going to go now with 1 runner left and no runs scored. We're going to the bottom, the top of the 5th inning, and it's 3-2 Pittsburgh.
I don't remember that ball. He was laying on the ground, and I thought Miles said that he was hurt. And he's definitely getting the second of 3 days.
We are up here ready to go with the top of the 5th inning, and Zach Goldstein will step in here for San Rafael. B.J. Gwynn tosses the ball to Travis Blackley, who has pitched a fine game here except for 1 home run to Miles Williams, and that is the entire offense so far for San Rafael. 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 runs, and 7 hits for the Diamonds, who have left a number of people on base, and they hope they're not regretting that at the end of the night. Here's a pitch from Blackley, and Goldstein goes to bunt, and he bunts it backwards, and McKeon rises back to make the catch. Out number 1. And foul ground, McKeon throws off his catcher's gear and races back and almost to the backstop. He makes the catch, and there's 1 away.
So there's an example right there. We were just talking in between innings about situationally how to score a run and everything, and it's hard to get that bunt down.
It is, but Valdez, when you have your best bunter up there, I don't know if Goldstein is as good as Valdez.
There's 2 runners on, and I want to score those 2 in these games. Think Blackley's gonna do his thing, isn't he? He's gonna shut it down. He's gonna pitch pretty well, isn't he? So if you can keep, if you can just take your chances and score 4 runs, you might win the ball game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm with you. If Aaron Miles squeezes.
But you're saying Aaron won't do it. But
I think Valdez is going to drive in 2 runs with a knock.
We were talking about whether or not Audemars Valdez should have squeezed when the bases were loaded, and we are reviewing all of the potential points. Joe and I could talk about that late into the night.
Tells me to squeeze. If he ever gives me a squeeze over there, I will. You'll see me. I'll take the helmet off and say, "Are you sure? You're checking because
are you feeling okay?"
He wants a double. I want the double too. Double.
Did you check to see what was in that water?
Even for that last at bat. I mean, you're down by a run. You hit a double.
Miles Williams is up here with a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Trying to run, so it's
even with the third baseman playing so far back.
You were thinking with the bases loaded yet there? Well, I mean, again, you're winning and Blackley's pitching, and you're going to score
strike
2
3
runs
called on Miles Williams, and so that's going to be out number 2. Nobody on.
The guy's hitting 300, isn't he? 310. So I mean, there's a 1 out of 3 chance that he drives 2 runs in right there. And I don't know if it goes foul or the guy doesn't. We don't practice it. It's not something that we're trying to. We practice hitting doubles and driving 2 runs in.
All right. Well, that's what they practice. There's a philosophy behind it.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring it up because we talked about Aaron's kind of style, and one of the things I mentioned in the other broadcast was that knowing what the situation is, and the situation is there's a big leaguer on the mound. They're probably not going to score 7 runs, so I don't have to pull all the cards out right here and try to suicide squeeze. We could win this game 3-2.
Here's a pitch, the 1-0 pitch. Is to Demetrius Maury, the surprise second baseman, 101, who's doing a great job at second base. But I see that as an argument for the 1 run. 1 run becomes more valuable if he's not going to be giving up a lot of runs. Sure, if you're afraid they're going to score a lot of runs, you better go for a lot of runs. But
true. But I just think at this point, I mean, you look at our offense. I mean, we can explode at any time. The other night I sat
2
down
balls
with
and 1 strike.
1-0. We was quiet. I think it was 6-2 when we left, and they scored. They went through 3 pitchers, and what should we steal? Pass ball.
Well,
should we hit and run? Mistake. And then remember the phantom tag ends up being an out. So you never know.
Blackley with the ball, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike now to Demetrius Moore with 2 down, 3-2 Diamonds, and we are talking about a situation where the bases were loaded and Audemars Valdez was up and the best bunter on the team, and we thought maybe he would squeeze with the third baseman playing deep and off of third, but that clearly is not an option. This pitch is outside for a ball. It's now going to put Moore on first base, where he was picked off previously, and bringing up to the top of the order.
Walks is Moore now, like 50 walks, the kid? No, but in the season, the kid, I think, is about a walk a game. He gets on base, and he's put himself in the 2 spot in a lot of games in a lineup that is not a rookie lineup.
I don't know if they have his on-base percentage, but he's insane.
Yep. 51.
49 walks, 51 strikeouts.
How many hits? 51.
51 hits, correct.
You know, that's 110 times on base for a guy that can fly. And he's going to have to deal with this now.
So the Blackley's move, it already, I'm sure he learned a lesson the first time, but I don't know if he learned it well enough.
It's a hard lesson to learn with a left-handed pitcher like this because he has so many ways to get you.
We see it all the time where when Blackleaf does throw the pitch, the runner is going the wrong direction. They're completely confused by what's going to happen.
His body language and what he does with his head is phenomenal.
That bill's man on the left side. Garcia trying to make the stop. He makes the stop, but he doesn't have a throw. Kind of just insane that he was able to get to the ball at all. Diving to stop it from going into left field. And Moore stops at second. On at first base is Juan Herrera. And coming to the plate now is Michael Rizzatello with 2 runners on and 2 out.
It's good hustle play by Garcia right there. It doesn't show up because, the guy wasn't going to go to third, but that actually helps you as the season goes on to make plays like that where it doesn't really affect you. It's not like 2 runners were at second and third, but it'll help you down the road when you make that play and say, hey, I saved 1 run. I can get that far in the hole. I can make that play.
So
he wants to get there. If Garcia can get there, he's going to touch it.
So you look at the Diamonds lineup, and this is your forte. You got Vigaletti is an obvious person. Garcia is outstanding at shortstop and hits the ball well enough for a shortstop especially. Why are they still here? Why don't they get picked up in the middle of the season? Although Aaron said...
I've had calls for Jose a couple different times, American Association, Can-Am League. The situations were tight and not really going to benefit him, and maybe we couldn't do it. We couldn't facilitate it. For an example, there was a call of one of the San Rafael games. I think our last series with them, they needed a guy at 11 a.m. the next day. We were playing the game at 8 o'clock. We did the math. Hey, if we get him there, does he even make the game? And if he makes the game, do they keep him for a week? If they say, hey, man, we're going to play this kid for 3 days and we're just going to send him back to you. So it's got to be the right situation. It's got to be worth it. And there's so many variables. The other team has to have a need.
If you're watching on TV, you got to see that almost click-off play at second. The dance done between Moore and Valdez. This pitch is a ball. It's 3 balls and no strikes, and Blackley is a pitch away from loading him up.
If I'm Riz right there, 2-0 pitch with Blackley pitching, I'd want you to stop dancing around in the back and let me get my straight one. And maybe that's something to learn as you go along.
3-0 count. Ball 4. Rizzatello will go to first base, and now the bases are loaded for San Rafael. There are 2 down. They are down by a run here in the top of the 5th inning, and that will bring to the plate Ryan Witt, who is on fire.
Yeah, Witt. He tore it up in Garden City, 15 homers. His manager, I believe his last name is Peterson, called me a couple times about him and a couple other guys, and looks like he is what they said he was. But another one of those things, like, look, Witt's here, right? Okay, came from another league. So this goes back to what we were just talking about. There's got to be a need. There has to be a need to move on. Someone has to have seen you before. They have to you have to fit the mold of their ball club.
Ryan Witt up here with the bases loaded, and the pitch to him is inside, and Alex McKeon makes a good stop, and it's 1-0.
And so he fits because Kavanaugh has heard about him, got reports about him. Scott, even Aaron Brill. Look at a guy hitting .214, got out of this league yesterday. You don't have to be hitting Guglietti numbers to get out. What do you have to do? Be seen by the teams, have a manager that likes you. Dennis Pelfrey, we worked out with Dennis Pelfrey all winter.
That's strike. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Games against them, and you're gonna move on if you've made the right connections. And that's one thing where Jose's been with me for 3 years. There's a lot of teams asking about him. Guglietti, I just met the kid, and I have to get my information on him before I can really try to get him, out.
1 ball and 1 strike here with the bases loaded. Ryan Witt at the plate, and the 1-1 pitch is low for a ball, and it's 2-1.
But for what he's done, and for a lot of the offenders in this lineup, whatever they've done, they could help a team at a higher level in in all 4 leagues.
And offenders are offensive stars. Is that what you're?
The offenders. I want to say the offenders. The pitching's always going to have their.
I just want to make sure people know what you're talking
differences.
about.
Yeah, the offenders. I'm talking about the guys who the most dangerous guys in the
on the offensive.
Okay. They
there
can
we
help
go.
these teams.
That's a good term, but
it just came from there. American Association. He just came.
2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch swung on it. Missed. Strike 2.
And the other thing is. These guys are really detailed at the next level with what they want. You know, I've had questions. How does Guglietti have 80 hits in 55 games? They ask me, how does he have 80 hits? How? Who's pitching? They ask. And then when a pitcher is pitching the way he's pitching, they'll call and say, how are the numbers like that? How? Who's hitting? They want to know. The scouts are detailed, and also they have long lists of backups.
2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch. It's ball 3. Full count now. The runners will be going with 2 down, and
that's frustrating right there for Blackley.
Blackley thought he had a strike.
He's really, he's dealing. He's around the plate. I faced him a couple times when we were doing some sim game stuff, and he is just around the plate. He doesn't miss by much.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The Australian, former major leaguer.
That's a great pitch right there. See if he goes back there. He's
3-2 count, 2 down. Bases are jammed.
Go back there.
Yep. Swung on a miss. Strike 3.
Challenge him.
No runs for the Pacifics in the top of the 5th inning. They leave the bases loaded, and at the end of 4.5, the score: Pittsburgh 3 and the Pacifics 2.
That was big. He just went after.
Oh, I thought you said what Tony said. And he's got his diamond sticker in the back. Bottom of the
dance moves.
Yeah, we're talking about Bodie, the Diamonds bat boy, as we have discussed previously, doing the YMCA everywhere the Diamonds go. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. We're going to have Bautista, followed by Marty Carrena, and then McKeon, as the Diamonds continue to nurse this 1-run lead, 3-2. They have left a lot of folks on base and are looking for a little larger difference here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The first pitch to Bautista is a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So Vallejo and Sonoma. Here's a 1-0 pitch, 2-0. What these Vallejo Admirals have come, they're resurgent, they're huge. They're just nonstop. In the last 8 games, the only team to beat them was Pittsburgh once.
Yeah, they have turned it on. They got some good guys, and they've been playing with that lineup all year, playing some guys in different positions, seeing what works, riding the hot bat. They're a little more healthy with Akins playing. When he's in the lineup, they're a little bit more dangerous, and they're going to hit, man. They're going to hit. We had them, I think, 7-0. We had them 13-3 or whatever.
And over the year, yes.
Ball game all of a sudden.
Right. There were 10-run leads that disappeared. 10-run leads that disappeared, and the Diamonds lost against the Admirals. And the Stompers have suddenly fallen in the slump that everyone kind of thought has to happen at some point, and finally it has come to be. Pitch by Bautista is hit foul down the left field line, and so its count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on.
Well, one thing that at Sonoma, if Vallejo's playing a lot at Sonoma, they're going to hit better. It's tough to hit because of the shadows, but you got those corners are a little bit closer. The walls are a little bit closer and left and right in those corners, and there's some big bats, man. Tillman Pugh's got double-digit home runs, and a bunch of guys swinging it pretty well over there.
Ground ball to the left side is picked up by the shortstop and throws out Bautista for out number 1.
It's fun to watch that guy, isn't it?
Right now it's the bottom of the 5th, and the Admirals are leading the Stompers 2-1.
And he's having fun too. He has fun.
Herrera.
And that's big for Moore. Even I don't know if he's going to be a career second baseman, but to play next to that guy in a few games and learn some things from him, just watching him, is big for Moore. And I know Brill enjoyed playing with him too. He told me before, yeah.
Here is Javier Marty Carrena stepping up here with 1 out, nobody on, 3-2. In favor of Pittsburgh. Angel Mejia has had his difficulties, but he has gotten out of it on several occasions. This pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, Mejia's throwing the ball pretty well. Now, this is the time when you start, when the Diamonds see the guy for the 3rd time. That'll tell the tale.
Okay.
We open it up, or do we have we learned anything from those previously 2 at-bats, or is he doing his thing that day? And that's what we saw last night. Or the other night. I'm sorry. I feel like it was last night. It was 2 nights ago. Last night I watched a game from my phone.
Oh, you did?
Well, I mean, updates. And
cool.
I can't get too involved.
Why?
It's like Major League. You know, I'd be like the manager in the bed, screaming at the
Screaming
English, screaming at the English TV. I love this English stuff.
I haven't seen that. Whatever you're referring to.
Oh.
There's a pitch. Marty Carina fouls that away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
More references on you then.
Well, that doesn't mean the audience hasn't seen it. The audience may have seen it. Just because I haven't seen it.
They probably did.
Yeah.
They should come here, and then they would know what I'm talking about.
They should come here. It was back to school night tonight. Next weekend, the Diamonds will be back here. They go to Sonoma, then they go to San Rafael. Here's a pitch inside, and Marty Carina just out of the way of that one, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was up and in. You can guess what's coming next. What do you think? 2-2 up and in. We're going to throw Javi something, and this is what Javi's been working on all season. I really enjoy watching this kid work. I know him from South Florida. He's played a little bit with us. He was in the Empire League last year, and a manager that I know well moved him to the Frontier League where he finished the season and started this season.
The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3 dropped by Rizzatello, who tags him out. And so that's 2 down now, and up comes Alex McKeon.
Something he's been working on, man. He's gotten much better with it, but if it's a good pitch right there. It's tough to lay off.
So Mejia has settled down somewhat here. He has not had an inning without a base runner, but he's threatening to do that here with 2 down and nobody on.
Yeah, it looks like he's comfortable now.
This pitch is swung on and popped up foul. Jake Taylor over in foul ground, and he is looking at it, catching it, out number 3. Diamonds go quietly in the bottom of the 5th, and we're going to the 6th inning with the score, Pittsburgh 3 and San Rafael 2.
Are you looking for a community-based establishment that will provide a fun and exciting environment for your family? Certainly Diamonds Baseball is one, and no doubt one of these diners is another.
No, I've never seen Major League.
I've never
Great fastball.
We're going out of the 6th inning where it is 3-2. The Diamonds have the lead. Travis Blackley has been walking the tightrope here a couple of these innings and has gotten out of them another inning with the bases loaded last time in the 5th. No runs scored. We're going to have Cameron Monger, Jake Taylor, and Mark Lindsay up to the plate here for San Rafael in the top of the 6th. Blackley comes to the plate. Monger can't hit it. It's 0-1. That was just power against power, it looked like. Blackley's fastball against the hard-hitting center fielder, new member of the Pacifics with his mountain man beard and his big swing, at least the last pitch. That one is fouled at the plate, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Monger's got the look for sure.
Yeah.
I heard stories about him for years, and then he came out and played spring training with us this year. He played a couple games to get loose before he went to the Can-Am League, and very valuable to have around. He's like we talked about Gwynn and some of those guys. And
people who are leaders on a team.
Just taking BP. Just watch him take BP. He's got some tidbits for the young guys.
0-2 pitch is swung on a miss, and that's strike 3, and Monger will sit down. Jake Taylor now comes up. He had a single his last time. I don't know if that's some of the air out of the fear that he's going to explode all over these Diamonds, but he's because he was 0 for 8 until he got his hit last night.
Right. Well, it's tough, man. You run into Blackley. I don't care who you are, what team it is, shadows, no shadows, whatever. Blackley is the real deal, and he throws it over the plate, and he's around the plate, and he's not going to allow many runs. And even what he's been able to do at first base, keeping those Sonoma runners when we were having some close games, and even the Vallejo runners, and keeping them close and picking them off is invaluable. You don't have a guy that can it's like a catcher that's just automatic. Whenever they run, you throw them out. You don't have that. It's not automatic, and he makes it pretty automatic over there that they're not going to run, and he's going to get them.
The 1-0 pitch is low for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. What can do the other players pick up being around someone like Blackley, who's got the major league experience, but is dedicated to the Diamonds? This is his 7th start, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, just being around the guys, like even the Mongers and the Blackleys, and just seeing how they work.
Swing and a miss. It's
goes a long
2-1.
way. It could take them. It could change something for them. They could see something in somebody's game that they like or that they don't like, and he's got a lot of things to like. And explains. Sometimes he's in there. He likes to. It's Australian guy, you know. So he's got some stories about the slider.
The slider. The slider.
Slider stories.
I threw him a slider.
Slaughter.
Very.
And but he talks to the guys, and sometimes he's kind of like me. He's got a little gab, and but he goes after it and he explains why I went at this guy the way I went at him. And
you have the gift of gab.
Next time, and how I'm gonna go get this, and he tells them. And they're all in the bullpen, I guarantee there's probably more pitchers in the dugout tonight when he's starting than there usually are for the starter. Because you're going to get some good information in between innings. He's not
Pitch is swung on him. It's strike 3, and Taylor will sit down.
He doesn't just put the dark hoodie on and hide in the corner because he's pitching well. He is into the game. He's into the team. To talk to the coach, talk to the manager, and he's into it.
Mark Lindsay is up here now with 2 down and nobody on, and Blackley has struck out the first 2 batters, and he has 7 Ks so far tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know who learns the most? Probably the catcher. Probably working with him, unless he's worked with a lot of Blackley-type arms. I know McKeon was definitely handled some pretty decent arms.
This pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. So both pitchers had rocky innings over the first 5, and now it looks like they've both settled down somewhat into some kind of groove. Blackley striking out the first 2 here. This is a ground ball to left side. Gwynn waits for it. He's got it and throws across the diamond for the out. 3 up and 3 down here in the top of the 6th, and at the end of 5 1/2, the score is Pittsburgh 3, San Rafael 2. Bottom of the 6th inning here. Yes, it is a broken record. Since the top of the 3rd, it is 3-2 Diamonds. I think we're just used to more run production, but we've got Blackley and Mejia getting into a groove here, mowing down the opposition. The Diamonds went down 1-2-3 last time, and so we're going to start off with Jose Garcia, followed by Otomar Valdez, and then B.J. Gwynn here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run is the lead for Pittsburgh, and the first pitch to Garcia outside for a ball, and it's 1-0. We are enjoying our time here with Joe Torre, injured coach of the Diamonds, so we're not taking him away from too much. And promoting his future broadcast career. This pitch from Garcia is belted down to third base, but handled by the third baseman Goldstein, and he throws him out for out number 1.
Yeah, you never know. Where are we going? What do we have, the Super Bowl next? No.
We're counting on you to open like the broadcasting Black Sox, and we'll just roam the country and show people how it's done.
I've wanted to do it. You know, we've had guys record it on their phone and announce the game as they do it. One guy does real good, Harry Carey, my old knuckleball pitcher, Nick Vatrin, up in Massachusetts area. Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, he was really
holy cow!
Oh, he would.
Cubs win! Cubs win!
And the guys chime in.
Here's a pitch to Valdez, as we all do our little Harry Carey, or maybe it was just me. Here's a pitch to Valdez. It's a strike. No balls, 1 strike.
You do the Harry Carey, and I'll do the slider guy. And then
the Australian announcer. That's a good one. Harry Carey did the A's for a while. I don't know a lot of people remember that. Here's a pitch low for a ball. You don't remember he was the A's broadcaster? Harry Carey, Oakland A's broadcaster.
Yep, he's got the restaurants out there and everything. We always stop.
Oh, I've been eating at Harry Carey's restaurant and had a good time. Pitch inside for a ball, 2-1.
Yeah, every year when we do the Windy City Frontier League tour, we hit those spots.
This is going to cause a conversation between Rizzatello and Mejia, whatever happened on that pitch. 2-1. What are they talking about, Joe?
I mean, it might not just be that pitch. It might be the fact that who knows how much longer Mejia is going to be in the game, and if he can get through Valdez and Gwynn here, it sets up your bullpen in a good spot to face, the Calderones and the Gugliettes with no runners on base. So if they can be efficient here, sometimes it's better to talk about how you're going to attack the guy rather than, we just missed. And what do you want to do here? Let's get Otomar swinging, and let's get Gwynn swinging, and let's not put any guys on base here for the big bats in a 3-2 game.
Throwing in the Pacific's bullpen is Michael Holback. And so, obviously, the Pacifics have a thought they'll be replacing Mejia. That pitch is a ball, and it's 3 balls and a strike now to Valdez with 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th inning. Wind blowing out to left center field at the moment. And the way it does usually, the pitch to Valdez, a ground to the right side foul, and that's going to make it a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Most interesting weather. I mean, it's not most interesting, but it's very interesting weather here. I've never done a full season in California, but it's getting cold. The other night I was cold. I'm cold now. But in spring training in May, it was 110 for 5 days straight, and I lost like 12 pounds.
If you're here in September, it heats up again in September. September is the hottest month. That is pitches the ball. Valdez will go to first base with a walk. And I thought you were going to say Chicago has the most interesting weather because I've been in Chicago for some wild weather.
Every time I'm in Chicago, it rains and snows, and that's it. So that's how interesting it is for me there.
And in the summer.
No, in spring training. See, everybody thinks with us that spring training is like, oh, it's spring training. It's going to be
gorgeous.
Summertime.
Yeah.
No.
Well, not in Chicago.
Atlantic League, it's cold in the Atlantic League.
Yeah, I believe it.
And then Frontier League, it's cold. And then Fargo, it's cold. And then California, it's 110.
That walk is the end of things for Angel Mejia, who will be taken out of the game, and Michael Holback will come into the game for the Pacifics with Armadar Valdez on at first base with 1 out. Holback comes in here. This is his 23rd appearance. He has started 1 game in those 23 times up there. He's pitched 35 in the 3rd innings, and in 35 in the 3rd innings, he's given up 41. He's gotten 41 strikeouts, given up 23 walks. His record is no wins, 2 losses. He has 3 saves. His ERA is an impressive 2.54. So he has come in here to try to shut this down here. The Diamonds, with a 1-run lead, would love to increase that, get a little insurance here as they're in the bottom of the 6th. And we had this conversation the other night. We didn't have an agreement on that, but that's what makes the conversation interesting. And that is, do you send Valdez
right here
at first base? He's at first. Do you send him on with BJ Gwynn at the plate and 1 out?
Is Guglietti up this inning?
He will after several batters. You got Wallace, you got Gwynn, Wallace, Calderon, and then Galletti.
So if these 2 hitters could make an out and Guglietti might not hit, I mean, I'm making sure Guglietti hits.
Well, making
sure he hits.
He's the number 4 hitter now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I mean, you got to realize as the game goes on, Holback, he's going to get to the plate a little quicker. He's going to throw a little harder. He's going to reliever. He's focusing on keeping runners close. That's his job. So the game tightens up a little bit here. So and then especially if you throw strike 1. If he throws strike 1. Or maybe even strike 2, it's going to lessen your chances because you can pitch out.
Okay, let's take a vote. Tony, Valdez, you send Valdez?
I would like to.
75% success rate?
Yes.
75% success rate. I'm probably thinking I want to send him.
Okay. Oh, no, I want to. Don't get me wrong. I want to. I just said I want Guglietti to hit.
I'm going to defer to these guys.
Well, I would send him.
Don't get me wrong. I like to run, and he likes to run, and I want to run here. I want to be aggressive. A lot of times it's on the guy. If he gets the jump, if he gets the read, if he's feeling the pitcher, give it to him. If it, a lot of these guys we don't tell him when to run. Audemars was in the minor leagues, and the kind of player he was coming up, what do they tell him to do? Hey, buddy, you're going to run. You're going to run. So with us, it's more calming him down in certain situations. We don't have to tell him to go.
Well, Holback facing Gwynn, his first hitter that he's going to face here with Valdez on at first with 1 down. The left-hander Gwynn against the right-hander Holback.
Again, in a game like this with Blackley pitching, I think of those big bats and how this might be their last time up coming up. And if we can get Googs and Calderon with some guys on base and got a good chance adding to the lead.
That's not a pitch. It's throw to first. He has not thrown a pitch. He has thrown twice to first base. And
how many times have you seen it? Not even a steal attempt, and not even and the guy gets to second base, a pass ball, an error at first or something, and the guy could move over anyway.
He could, and you could sit on your hands and nothing could happen.
That's true. Very true. I'm with you.
Here's the pitch to the plate. It's high for a ball, and it's 1-0. Very high.
Well, that's the one thing about the guys like Audemars and Jose. You don't know when they're supposed to look like they're going to go all the time. It's up to them to figure out. So. He's ready. for sure, and he probably wants to, and he might. But again, you look at those extra base hit numbers.
There he goes. Here's the pitch. Gwynn takes it, and no throw to second base. And did he call timeout or something? I don't know. The umpire came out behind the plate yelling. It looked like, I don't understand what happened. Valdez is standing at second base. He did call a balk.
What are we doing here?
He called a balk. So I guess that's no steal for
a balk.
So he tried to steal it, but there's one of those things that can happen. He got a balk.
There's another one of the variables that can get a guy over without having to risk being thrown out. And look, we're at second with one out.
Second base now, scoring position for Valdez, and it's, we say that a lot, people on second base, but there are a lot of people at second base who aren't in scoring position. They're just not fast enough, really, to be in scoring position.
Well, on this field, honestly,
this pitch to Gwynn, and that pitch is high.
Especially in Vallejo, the way that outfield bounces.
Yeah,
everybody's in scoring position.
Yeah, Vallejo is its own animal. That is
Vallejo
a wild
actually
field.
Knocked me out of coaching third. Because of the bounces it was taking, I had to change positions while the runners were running, and that's really what bothered the leg. So there were routine plays where I would keep a guy at third base, but then there'd be such a bad bounce that I'd have to send him. And all of a sudden, me changing that position was really what aggravated and I mean, that field is, if you can play the outfield there on those bounces.
3-0 count now on Gwynn, and he is up here with Valdez at second. We thought that we should put you in some kind of hospital bed with traction, and you could have one arm free, and you could just wave it when the guy needs to score.
Crutch. If I could have done it with the crutch, I would have done one crutch.
This pitch is a strike. Is there a rule against you doing it with the crutch?
Yeah, I don't think they would have let me do it with the crutch. And then I had a cane idea. I actually checked out some canes today, but better to just stay off of it. I'll be on it with the cane. I'll be telling stories. No, I made a play. I think I'm 1 for 1.
3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at second. The pitch to Gwynn. He takes ball 4, and so now he's on, and here comes Wes Wallace.
And it's always going to go back to, you look last night, remember we ran the one time, we got 1 run or we didn't get a run. And then the next time we ran, we got thrown out, and then we scored 3 runs after with 2 outs. So as the season goes on, you're going to see everything tighten up. The pitcher's going to get better, the bullpen's going to get better.
Well, the season ends 3 weeks from tonight. Mm-hmm. And as you said, it's playoff baseball now. Everybody... when you got 3 teams within 2 games, it is about as tight as it can be. This pitch is fouled off the Rizzatello, it looked like, but he does not make any kind of response to that. So it's 0-1.
Actually, they flipped it up. That's Lindsay, isn't it?
Is it Lindsay?
Yeah, Lindsay's back there wearing that one.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, now Lindsay has
Rizzatello's about twice the size of Lindsay, so...
Lindsay
he makes a hard out every time, that Rizzatello, man. He's like Mora Laura for us. Hard out, hard out, hard out, hard out.
Well, I think Mora Laura on the inactive list, or at least he was. I don't know if he's back.
Oh, yeah, I just meant when we see him. Oh,
this pitch is a strike. No balls and 2 strikes now to Wes Wallace. First and second, 1 out. The Diamonds clinging to a 1-run lead. Travis Blackley has had another great night of pitching, and again in a tight ball game. And sometimes with his 0-3 record, you can tell he's done a great job of pitching, and he's just pitching some tough luck as far as the win-loss thing goes. Both runners go. Here comes the throw to third base, and in there is Armadar Valdez, and he is. Did it safe? He was called safe. Safe. Was it safe or out? The call
Leslie
from
Nielsen called him safe. Checking him for sand now. He's going to go check the...
Now Valdez wants timeout so he can get his uniform in position, and he's going to get timeout. So the Diamonds still third and second base all at once with the right-hander Wallace at the plate. Wallace took a ball, and that has not been reflected, but it's a 1-0 count on Wallace. And there's... Wallace struck out on that pitch, I guess. So I guess he struck out.
And then he did his job, and he hung in there until that throw was made. He could have punched out and started moving and made that a little easier for...
Second and third, and Calderon up here with 2 down. That pitch is low and inside for a ball. And can we get Vinny Galletti to the plate? Well, we'll find out. He's in the on-deck circle.
There you go, getting closer, huh? But interesting outing Holbeck's had here with the balk and then the double steal, almost, and the timeout, and it's...
Here's the pitch
your outing.
to Calderon. Inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's been behind, and he had to. The first thing, what started the struggles for Holbeck? He had to worry about the runner. He threw over twice. He almost threw one away. Then he's behind on Gwynn. Then he's behind on the next guy. Behind on the next guy. That's the kind of thing where do you have to run, or do you just have to have the threat of running?
2 balls and no
have
strikes.
it work in your favor. And it's a mind game.
2-0 count. The 2-0 pitch. Fouled back. It's 2-1. No doubt it's a mind game. It's a...
And then you're behind, and you say, you know what, man, I got to throw one over. And the hitter knows it, and then everything's out. And it's out. You're getting one, and you got to hit it. And that's what just happened right there. And that's the situations that we're good at getting ourselves into, with this offense, and that's why we can explode sometimes.
Dennis Neal was on last weekend, and he was saying, we're talking about the pitchers shaking off a sign. He said, well, sometimes you're shaking off a sign, and sometimes you're shaking it, trying to get into the batter's mind, so he doesn't know what you're going to throw. Pitch is a strike, and so it's an even count now with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valdez is on at third. Gwynn is on at second.
I mean, if you've seen Travasio, sometimes he calls the fastball with his hand as if he's throwing a bullpen and then throws the fastball. I mean, there's some guys that will do anything to get in your mind a little. Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
2-2 pitch is swung on at the plate, foul, and so Calderon stays alive here. Diamonds clinging to this 1-run lead. They have had opportunity after opportunity to increase that lead. They scored their 3 runs in the first inning and have had nothing since.
Big pitch right here, maybe the pitch of the game, depending on how it swings one way or the other, because he can fall behind him and he's got the base open in Guglietti, or does he throw it in there?
2-2 count.
And you know Blackley's good. Nobody up in our pen.
Holbeck, 2-2 pitch. Inside, ball 3, 3-2.
That's a good pitch. That's got to be teetering top of the zone, and I think it looked almost lower than the fastball that he just took for a strike that he questioned, and now it puts you in that, that situation again.
Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second and third.
So now we redo maybe the biggest pitch of the game.
3-2 pitch to Calderon is swung and fouled back, and we're going to do it all over again.
Oh, they're attacking him.
He asked the umpire, do you think that was a strike? And the umpire shakes his head, yes.
Sometimes you can't overdo that because, the other one you asked, he said, yeah. Then you ask again. And if you really do the math in your head and this one pitch was this high and that pitch was that high, and he said yes, and then he said no, you can't rely on that too much. You got to just, am I going to hit it or am I going to, can I barrel this thing up? 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch swung on, and this one is a very short pop-up on the infield, and there's the shortstop Herrera to make the catch, and that's out number 3. So the Diamonds, again, leave 2 runners here in the 6th inning, and at the end of 6 full, it is 3-2 in favor of Pittsburgh. There you go. 201-707-5564.
5564.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Another good job. Tony's time. You like that, right?
Yeah.
You can have a conversation with Tony. So at first, second, whatever.
We need more knowledge. To the bottom of the 7th we go. It'll be Zach Goldstein to lead it off. Goldstein, Williams, and Demetrius Moore, the bottom third of the order to face Travis Blackley. The Diamonds, Scott, have been threatening all night, and another nice conversation with Joe Torre, feeding us more and more knowledge, and we'll get more of that as the season wears on. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. But I was going to say the Diamonds have been threatening to score a lot and have been turned away.
It's very frustrating. Yes. Very frustrating, and they don't, it's just one of those situations where at the end of the game you say, we had all those opportunities, but right now they're still ahead, and Blackley is pitching well.
Strike 1 pitch to Goldstein, swing and a foul back, and Zach quickly down in the strike zone, down in the count rather. No balls and 2 strikes. So he leads it off, a base hit and a run scored leading off the 3rd. He scored ahead of Miles Williams' home run. And he fouled out to the catcher. That was leading off the 5th. So Zach 1 for 2 here. And the 0-2 pitch, and that one is a ground ball, hits the mound, goes back to Jose, who picks it up, throws him out just in time. And the call made there by Ron Barnes, the field umpire, and that ball looked like it hit the mound a little bit and kind of went back toward the shortstop, Jose Garcia.
And then Garcia bobbled it a little bit just to make it a little extra interesting, and he was able to throw him out. So
take another
he gets
look.
The first out. We're speaking of Sonoma and being there this weekend, as we have been discussing the Stompers. We will be there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games, all of them scheduled for 6 p.m. in Sonoma. And we hope you'll join us on Mixler.com. We will not be on BayAreaSports.tv. That's not the situation right now.
First pitch, and that one is lined. That's going to be a fair ball down the left field line, raked past third. And here comes Miles Williams cruising into second, no throw, and he's there with a one-out double, and that'll bring up Demetrius Moore, a two-run home run, and now a double for Miles Williams.
You know what? One thing you have to love about Joe Torre, what kind of coach he is. He went back and listened to himself on the air the other night and realized that he was talking over a lot of the plays. And so when he got on the air, he just completely changed his style. It wasn't perfect, but he did a much better job of not talking over the plays, and we appreciate it.
Well, he sounds good, and he's incredibly knowledgeable.
Right.
And I love those inside stories, like when the guy tried to bunt,
right?
And Aaron Miles didn't like it too much, and then he got hit by the pitch. He says, "Well, that's your own fault because you tried to bunt into the shift." There's a squaring around to bunt, and then pulling back is Moorer, who's walked a couple of times, and after his first walk back in the third was picked off by Travis Blackley.
Gwynn, he is standing almost on the left field line. He is not going to let a ball get past him. At least that's his charge right now, but that leaves a hole on the way to left field.
1-0 pitch, and that's in there, a strike, and they count 1-1.
There is a look behind the pitcher. You can see BJ. He is not going to wander very far from that left field line because he is just standing on it, basically.
No doubles defense right now, but they don't need a double to even up the ball game.
They've got speed at second.
Big hole between shortstop and the third baseman. That 5-hole right now is wide open. All right, Blackley comes set. A quick look back at the runner. And Travis kicks and fires the 1-1 swing and a foul, and that'll be off the screen. And the count to 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at second base in another tight ball game. A couple of 2-run ball games in the opener and then again last night, and now a 1-run game as we head to the 7th tonight. So even though the Pacific's struggling right now, Scott, I think I told this stat a couple of times, but San Rafael 0-8. In extra inning games, and that's not the whole story. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one floats way up high in the count, 2-2. In those 0-8 on the extra inning games, they've lost 6 times to Sonoma.
The Pacifics.
The Pacifics.
Wow.
And you talk about a situation, or a couple of hits here and there, and a play not made that could change games around. Right now, the second half of their season could be entirely different. 2-2 pitch, and that is low for a ball, and the count goes full 3-2. There you see the Diamonds flag blowing in the breeze, that one hanging off the grandstand here. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Demetrius Moore. Trying to pick up Miles Williams, who doubled, and that pitch is outside, ball 4. So after the Williams double, Moore picks up the walk, his 3rd of the ball game. And we'll go back to the top of the order to Juan Herrera.
Bottom of the 7th in Sonoma, it's 2-1 in favor of the Admirals.
Hey, now roll on, huh?
I was checking out that on my phone earlier as we look into the Pacific's dugout. Melvin Morrell got the start tonight for Vallejo, and he is obviously pitching another very good ball game for P.J. Phillips and the Admirals. And now Blackley taking a long time, and Juan Herrera is tired of waiting, and Eric Thompson grants him timeout. There's a look at Travis. It was funny when Joe Torre was mimicking the way he says slider.
A slider.
I don't do much of an Australian accent, but Joe had that word down.
Well, if you hear it a lot, I've been to Australia a number of times, and you hear it a lot, and Australians have it all over us because Australians watch American television a lot, so they get the American accent. But it's that Australian accent, you just cannot understand it. It's hard to decipher.
First pitch to Herrera, swing and a little chopper over the head of Blakely, and the throw to first out with the play at shortstop by Garcia to throw him out, and that's out number 2. And on the play, Miles Williams will take third base.
Great place to visit Australia, and the difference between Australia and New Zealand, who are there kind of in that little corner of the world. New Zealand is very English-oriented, Australia very America-oriented, and in New Zealand, they watch British television, and in Australia, they watch a lot of American television. That's the difference between the two places. Australia is just a great place to go visit. Those people are fun people.
I used to watch a lot of Benny Hill, and I do watch a lot of American television.
So you're ready.
So I'm both. All right, here's Rizzatello, the DH. First pitch is way up high for a ball. So runners at second and third now, following the ground out by Herrera. Williams to third, Demetrius Moore to second, and right now the Pacific's a base hit away from taking the lead. Herrera waits, and the pitch to him, swinging a foul back, and that one's off the post again. And Paula, our public address announcer, just cannot get used to that one coming off the post.
Justin Martinez is up and throwing in the Diamonds bullpen.
The Diamonds bullpen able to get it done the last couple of nights, and it looks like they're going to be called on tonight to do the same. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's a breaking ball. It goes low, and a nice block by McKeon. They count 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Diamonds have been turned away twice with the bases loaded. They've also left a couple of runners on base in another inning. So they've had their chances to really break this one open. They have not been able to. And if the Pacifics pick up a base hit and a couple RBIs here, the Diamonds are really going to be kicking themselves. 2-1 pitch and a check swing. No swing, says the home plate umpire Eric Thompson. The ball is high and it's 3-1.
Blackley has stranded 5 runners in the course of this evening. Once he's left, the Pacifics left the bases loaded without scoring a run.
Right now, Blackley's trying to strand a couple more. 2 outs here in the inning, but 2 on for San Rafael. Rizzatello waits. Here's a 3-1 pitch to him, and that is just a bit high, ball 4. Second walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded now for Ryan Witt.
Interesting, Witt has singled, got thrown out at second, and has struck out twice. So he's not having the second night like he had on his first night here, where he went crazy. He was 3 for 4. Excuse me, he was 3 for 5 on that first night.
Base hit, a pair of strikeouts for Ryan tonight. And the first pitch to him, swing, a broken bat, a little looper coming on is Galletti. He's going to have to play it on a bounce. He'll race over to first base, touch the bag before Witt can get there for out number 3. And that almost looked like a dangerous situation. So he's able to make the play, and the bases are left loaded. And now we have, I seem a little bit of a problem here with the home plate umpire, Eric Thompson. And Aaron Miles out there talking to Thompson after that play was made, but like the Diamonds and the home plate umpire having a little bit of a disagreement, but all's well that ends well here in the top of the 7th inning. The San Rafael Pacifics leave them loaded, and after 6.5, it's the Diamonds 3 and the Pacifics 2. All right, as we go to the home half of the 7th inning stretch time here from Pittsburgh, as the Diamonds still clinging now to a 3-2 lead. The Diamonds got 3 in the first inning, and then in the second and the third, they left the bases loaded both times, left a couple more runners besides that. So it's been the game of missed opportunities so far for Pittsburgh, but the good news is they do lead it by a run. And up comes Vinny Galletti. Double and a RBI and a run scored for Vinny tonight. Left-handed batter waits, and the pitch to him by Holbeck is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Pittsburgh. 2-6-0 for San Rafael. So Vinny waits. It'll be Bautista to follow him, and then Marta Carrena. This pitch is way up high and outside. The count 2 balls and no strikes. Second inning for Michael Holbeck, who picked up for Angel Mejia. And officially for Angel, 5 1/3, 3 runs on 7 hits. So nearly, well, he's got enough to qualify for the win, going more than 5 innings. Just a swing and a foul tip held by the catcher Lindsay, and the count now 2-1. But Angel Mejia falls a couple of outs short of what would be a quality start. That, of course, being 6 runs or more and 3 earned runs or less. Holbeck, the right-hander, and now the 2-1 pitch swing. Vinny swings and fouls this one off, and the count 2-2. So Eric Thompson and the Diamonds players and coaches having some words after that last half inning, and I am told that Travis Blackley said something to the home plate umpire coming off the mound at the end of the inning, and Eric Thompson apparently fired back verbally, of course, and the Diamonds took some offense to that, but no harm, no foul. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one is low for a ball, and the count to Galletti, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, with this tight of a game, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the umpire, I don't think. But the umpire will say he'll do a professional job and call him as he sees him.
But they're just human. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Vinny. Left-handed batter waits. Leading off the home half of the 7th, and the pitch swung on and laced into left field. Coming on, and making a diving catch is Ryan Witt. And there's Ron Barnes giving the out call. So Vinny Galletti on that slicer looked like he had himself a base hit, but Ryan Witt making a nice play out there in left, and here's another look at it.
This is a situation where that shift worked to their advantage. They got that left fielder over a little bit. If he didn't have a step to spare. So if he is not over where they have him playing, he's not getting that ball. And that time it worked to their advantage. So they say, hey, we're smart for playing him there.
Here's Gerald Bautista. He's got the big hit of the ball game right now. Swinging a foul. It caught a piece of the catcher Lindsay going back to the backstop, and the count 0-1. In that first inning with 2 outs and a couple of runners on, Gerald Bautista came up with the big 2 RBI base hit. And right now, that is the difference in the ball game.
That is the difference in the ballgame, and it should not be. The Diamonds have left so many people on base with so many opportunities, but that's one that stands out now.
The 0-1 pitch to Gerald. Here it is. That's low for a ball, and they count 1 ball and 1 strike. Marta Carrena waiting on deck. Diamonds going for the sweep, and San Rafael trying to salvage one right now. Diamond bullpen.
Coming down to the last part of this
I think he said
season.
Here's a pitch swung on and missed strike 2. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think he said that was Justin Lawrence down in the Diamond bullpen.
No, that is Justin Martinez.
Justin Martinez. Diamonds getting him ready to go. See whether or not Blackley comes out for another inning. Another good outing for Travis. 7 innings, just 2 runs. Here's the pitch, and that's a breaking ball outside, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for Travis, gave up a base hit leading off the 3rd to Goldstein, and then Miles Williams went yard. Other than that, the Pacifics have not been able to tally.
They moved to the top of the 8th in Sonoma. It's 2-1 Vallejo.
Another pitch, and that is just off the inside part of the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So as I said, Elvin Morel got the start for Vallejo tonight, and apparently he is mowing them down right now, having just surrendered the 1 run.
Yeah, he's doing to Sonoma what he did to the Diamonds here, apparently.
Payoff pitch. That's way outside, ball 4, and Gerald Bautista, he's on for the 3rd time tonight with that 2 RBI base hit. He's also got a pair of walks now.
So after tonight, the Diamonds will go to Sonoma for 3, and then they'll go to San Rafael for 3 next week, including on Wednesday a daytime game at 12:30 p.m. at San Rafael. Then they come home to play these Pacifics yet again. They play 6 in a row against them. Then on the road for 3 against Vallejo, on the road for 3 against the Pacifics, and then the final 3 against the Stompers here at Winter Chevrolet Stadium. So what that means is there are 6 games left here at Pittsburgh, and there are 3 against the Pacifics. The weekend of the 18th, 19th, and 20th. The 19th is Italian Heritage Night, and that should be a fun night with all kinds of good food planned and some fun with the roaming musicians and all kinds of stuff planned for that night. So if you want to join us, please do. There you can see the special events coming up. August 20th is Aaron Miles Bobblehead Day. The first 100 fans get to the game will get an Aaron Miles bobblehead, and that's got to be something that would be fun to collect. So make your plans for August 20th. That's a Sunday day game, August 20th, August 19th, Saturday night, and then August 31st, the final game of the year here against Sonoma, RotoCare night. That's a Rotary charity, RotoCare, and a $20 ticket to buy a tri-tip dinner, buy a ticket to the game, and a contribution to RotoCare.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
All available right now on your DiamondsProBall.com, so you can go there and get tickets now.
Here's the pitch, swing and a miss by Marta Carrena. He's down in the count 0-1, so as what Scott was talking about, lots going on. Be part of it. Well, Marta Carrena batting with 1 on and 1 out here. Then he led off with a fly ball out to left field. Bautista has walked. And here's the 0-1 pitch to Marta Carrena for Michael Holbeck. The right-hander deals, and this one up high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the San Rafael bullpen is up and going as well behind Holbeck. Diamonds baseball coming to you on BayAreaSports.tv and, of course, Mixler.com. And there you look into the bullpen. Some double barrel action going on here with the Pacifics. And it's swung on and missed by Marta Carrena as he went fishing that time. And they count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They've got Ryan Harper up throwing, and their submarine pitcher. And I think that's Garrett Granitz, isn't it? Is it Garrett Granitz?
It looks like the submarine pitcher's Garrett Granitz.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to identify him. There it is.
And that's him, yeah, Garrett Granitz. And Ryan Harper throwing there. Granitz is the right-hander.
Good shot there by our buddy Tim Banks. Swinging a foul back to the screen, and the count remains 1-2.
Big at bat here, big opportunity. Every opportunity the Diamonds have with a base runner and a 1-run lead is big, and they have not been able to bring people home, and not just at first base, but at bases loaded situations, second and third. So it's been a frustrating night.
Marta Carrena waits, the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Marty. So a 1-run ball game up in Sonoma. 2-1 Vallejo leads it there. And a 1-run ball game here in Pittsburgh. 3-2 the Diamonds lead it here. McKeon waiting on deck, and there's that split screen as we look at Bautista being held on by Jake Taylor. And the pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Marta Carrena for out number 2.
So another right-handed batter will come up and face the right-handed Holbeck, but that may not be what interests Kavanaugh, because he's coming out to the mound, and I think he's going with the reliever, and he wants the right-handed pitcher. That's the Submariner. So we're going to see old Garrett Granitz.
So Marta Carrena has struck out for out number 2, and that will be it for Michael Holbeck. We've got a pitching change here for Winter Chevrolet Stadium. We'll step aside for just a moment and be back to Pittsburgh right after this. inning and a third for Holbeck. You got 4 outs, right, Scott?
4 outs.
Holbeck, you got 4 outs.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know when it came in.
Okay, but I gotta be better at this. We deal with 5 1/3, 6 2/3, and we got 2 outs in the 7th. That's right. Pretty sure he got 4 outs. Garrett Grant. You got numbers on Garrett?
Yep, right here.
Okay. I'll toss it to you.
Okay.
See, there's a different number. That's not Granite's, right?
That's number one. Number one.
All right, back to Pittsburgh, 3-2 Diamonds. A new pitcher into the ball game is the side-arming right-hander Garrett Granitz for San Rafael. He'll face Alex McKeon here with a runner on base and 2 outs.
Garrett Granitz making his 26th appearance, 27 innings pitched, is all in relief. He has 32 strikeouts in 27 innings, 14 walks.
First pitch is Brown to the right side. Moore has it, juggles, can't make the play, and everybody's going to be safe. All right, Moore could not come up with that one, but he had to make such a long run for it, Scott. I'm almost thinking that's going to be called a base hit.
Granitz with his ERA of 3.33. And he is a submariner, and it's this is an interesting concept here because the Diamonds have seen him a lot in the early part of the year. They haven't seen him in a while, and he's got the classic kind of delivery that's hard to fathom until you get a couple times to see it. And the Diamonds have had that, but hasn't been long enough that they've forgotten. We'll see.
Well, here's the pitch now to Jose Garcia, who stands in. First one is high and away, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
You watch, I mean, that right hand of his will almost touch the dirt sometimes as he delivers.
Almost scrapes his knuckles on the ground as he delivers to the plate. And the 1-0 pitch, swing and a bouncing ball to short. Herrera's got it on the hop, fires over to first, and Jake Taylor not able to pick it out. Here comes Bautista to score, and the Diamonds lead it 4-2. And also moving up to third is McKeon, so that will be another error in the ballgame, or the first error in the ballgame, as Herrera did not make a very good throw over to first base. Jake Taylor tried to make the scoop, unable to do so. And it'll be an E6 on the play, and Bautista comes in to score, and the Diamonds now lead it 4-2.
What a huge play in this ball game, a 1-run game, and that's going to be it for Granitz, I think, as Kavanaugh comes out here. Not Granite's fault. He got 2 players to round the ball to the infield. It was a tough play for Moore, not as tough a play for Herrera, who got a short hop and then threw the ball into the dirt in front of Taylor, and it got by the first baseman, allowing Bautista to come in with that much needed, much desired anyway, insurance run for the Diamonds, who now have a 2-run lead.
So it looks like we're going to have another pitching change here from Pittsburgh. We'll step aside momentarily and come back to Winter Chevrolet Stadium right after this. Who do we got now?
Ryan Harper.
What do we got on him?
We've got Sterling back, Granitz, Ryan Harper.
So the runs charged to Holbeck. So 1 1/3, 1 run. And Granite's no innings
Cody, I'm going to
pitched.
give you some mojo, baby.
Ryan
Mojo.
Harper.
I have a lot of
I'll toss
faith.
it to you.
Get
Okay.
my-
We'll
get
come
out
back
my
a little
pocket.
early. We'll get the
There you go.
stats out of the way.
Mojo. Mojo. You're going to get a hit now. I know it. I got good mojo. I do.
Excuse the crazy lady.
I know. It's the announcer chick.
They're not crazy ladies.
How many cats do you have at home? More than 4? Okay. Just wondering. All right, brand new pitcher into the ball game. It's going to be Ryan Harper as Garrett Grant. It's a tough outing for him. He pitches to 2 batters and looked like he had both of them out. He inherits a runner. The runner ends up scoring, charged to Holbeck. But Ryan Harper now takes over the 4th pitcher of the night for San Rafael.
And he is making his 5th appearance on the season, 6 2/3 innings pitched so far. In those 6 2/3 innings, he's given up 5 walks. He has 3 strikeouts. His record, has made 4 appearances. He's got a record of 1 and 2. So he's been involved in some decisions. And his ERA is 2.70. And the real question is, who is the better? Who has more power? Is it going to be Ryan Harper or is it Paula, our PA announcer, who stands up in the between innings and is trying to put a hex on Omar Valdez, saying "Mojo, Mojo," and Valdez gave her a big smile. We'll see what happens.
All right, here we go. Diamonds have plated 1 here in the inning. And now they're staked to a 2-run lead. So after having a couple innings, Scott, where it looked like they were going to explode for a lot of runs, and they couldn't get it done. And now the error by Herrera over at shortstop and an infield base hit by McKeon. And the Diamonds have plated a run here, a much-needed run, as they've extended the lead to 4-2. And here's Odemar Valdez with runners at the corners and 2 down. Harper turning a throw over there to first base, and Garcia diving back in. Harper looks like he's got a pretty decent move over there.
Yeah, Garcia was making sure he made it back in there.
Yeah, it'd be a bad time to get picked off here. Odemar trying to get the Diamonds another run. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Angel Mejia, 5 1/3, 3 runs, 7 hits. Michael Holbeck, an inning and a third. He gave up the 1 run, and that was the run that was inherited by Garrett Granitz that he allowed to score. And the pitch, and Odemar takes low for a ball, and the count 1-1 strike.
It looks like it's going to be Justin Martinez coming on for the Diamonds in the 8th inning, but we don't know. Maybe Travis Blackley will come out for another inning of work. This has been a long time to sit down here, as this inning has taken a while with 2 pitching changes.
There's Aaron Miles giving his runner at third some instruction, another throw back to first. And right now, Ryan Harper paying a lot of attention over there to Jose Garcia at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Diamond second baseman, Odemar Valdez. Here's the pitch, swinging a ground ball up the middle, off the pitcher, and it's going to be juggled by Moore, who had the shortstop Herrera crossing over his path as McKeon scores on what I believe is going to be called an infield base hit and an RBI.
That was a particularly tough play because it bounces off of, first it bounces off the pitcher Harper, and then it bounced towards Moore, who's making a move to his right to try to get that ball. We'll see a replay right here. Watch it bounce off of Harper, the pitcher, hits him off the glove, then it goes, and then right in front of him, Herrera moves right in front of Moore as he's trying to pick the ball up, and that made it very difficult for Moore. We've talked, he's not used to playing second base. That was a very difficult play, and he could not make the pickup. And boy, has infield play played a big role in this inning.
Here's the pitch. That one swung on, fouled off by B.J. Gwynn. So in a situation, or an inning, I should say here, Scott, that it's not like the Diamonds are raking the ball all over the place. Just a few plays that were not made, and then an infield base hit by McKeon have given the Diamonds 2 more runs here, 2 very big runs here. Now they lead it 5-2, and the pitchers, particularly Holbeck, Granitz, and now Harper, have got to be kicking themselves a little bit because they made the right pitches. Here's the pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-1.
Three balls. It should have been the third out of this inning, and none of them turned out to be an out at all, of course. And runners at first and second. The Diamonds have their 2 fastest players on base right now.
Gwynn bats here, 2 in, 2 on, 2 out. The pitch to BJ, swing and slapped foul, left side past third, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That could have come into play with that ball if it had been fair down the left field line. Watching Valdez take off from first base, see if he could score, would have been very interesting.
It looked like BJ's just kind of reached the bat out there and slapped it like he was really trying to put it down that line at third base. And it looks like Goldstein over at third has moved over a step or 2 toward the line at third. Kind of see him there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And the 1-2 pitch to BJ, swinging a ground ball This to second and picked up by Moore, who makes the play to first base, and the inning is over. The Diamonds leave 2, but they score 2. And at the end of 7 full here from Winter Chevrolet Stadium in Pittsburgh, it's the Diamonds 5 and the Pacifics 2. Out with a slider. Got him out with a slider. Still in there. I gotta work on my Australian accent for next time he pitches.
Yeah, that's right.
Top of the 8th we go. The Diamonds play 2 in that last half inning and extend a 1-run lead to 3, even though they didn't exactly crush the ball. But it was a couple of plays that the San Rafael Pacific's infield was not able to make. And an infield base hit by McKeon that played a huge role in the Diamonds picking up 2 more. And as we go to the top of the 8th now, the Diamonds lead it by 3, 5-2. Here's Cameron Monger to lead it off, followed by Jake Taylor and then Mark Lindsay, middle 3 of the order, to face Travis Blackley, who comes out for his 8th inning of work. And Monger's going to bunt up along the first baseline, and that one is foul. And lucky for Monger it was, because he bunted that one way too hard. Would have been an easy play for Vinny Galletti at first.
Top of the 9th in Sonoma. Vallejo 2, Sonoma 1. Vallejo batting, and then the Stompers will have their last steps. Maybe their last steps.
Vallejo looking for the sweep in the wine country. And that would move them into a flat-footed tie with the Stompers. And the 0-1 pitch to Monger, that is high for a ball. And the count 1-1. And who'd have thought that we would be saying at this point in the second half that Vallejo has a chance to move into a flat-footed tie with Sonoma?
We would not have suspected that. And if they do, and if this holds on here, the Diamonds would be 1 game behind both of them.
Blackley looking in. The 1-1 pitch to Cameron. Swung on, and that ball hit hard down the left field line, but well foul. Monger really squared that one up, but a bit out in front. And the count goes to 1-2.
Important here for Blackley to get through these middle of the Pacific's lineup. These are their big bats. If they get through them here efficiently, they're not coming up in the 9th.
Justin Martinez still warming up down there and spent some time on the inactive list. Curveball that stays just a bit high, and the count 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Right-handed batter waits, the bearded one. And the 2-2 pitch to Cameron, swinging a foul back to the screen. And Monger wearing that sort of that Duck Dynasty style beard, which has become so popular over the last several years in Major League Baseball. I'm thinking of Charlie Blackmon of Colorado, Justin Turner of the Dodgers, Dallas Keuchel of the Astros. I guess the clean-cut look is just not that popular.
When
right
did that
now.
Red Sox team last win the World Series? They all had beards, as I recall.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Monger out on strikes to start the top of the 8th inning, and here comes Jake Taylor. So Monger has struck out a couple of times. Here comes Jake. He's also struck out a couple of times. He also has a walk, but boy, Jake Taylor's been awfully quiet here in this series, and he comes up exactly where the Diamonds would like to see him with nobody aboard.
All right, swing away, Jake. Go ahead.
If he hits a home run here, well, still a 2-run lead, so you figure Blackley Going to be throwing him strikes in this situation. And the first pitch to Taylor swung on and missed strike one. He was 0 for 4 in game one, was Jake. He did get a hit in 4 trips yesterday. That was a base hit that made it first and third late in that ballgame when the Pacifics looked like they were rallying to win. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. That ball's hit well into center field. But there's Wallace ranging back. Reaches up, makes the catch. 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th for Travis Blackley. And that'll bring up Mark Lindsay with nobody aboard and 2 down.
So there are the 2 of the big 3 bats for the Diamonds for the Pacifics, and if they get this 3 up, 3 down, I bet we see Blackley in the 9th inning looking for the complete game.
So Blackley in good shape right now. 2 runs on 6 hits is all he's allowed. Here's the pitch to Lindsay, and that's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1.
He had some trouble last inning, but here he looks as strong as he's looked all night.
Trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning here and try to get the Pacific's catcher Mark Lindsay for out number 3 here in the 8th. Winds, fires the 0-1 pitch. Good breaking ball, but it missed just a bit outside, but that one had some nice hook on it right at the end of that pitch.
Not so far out of the strike zone, but also Lindsay didn't bite.
It's one of those, Scott, if it was 2 strikes, I'm sure he would have been swinging. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Lindsay. Another curveball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2.
He went to school on the last pitch, and this one he got over.
Good-looking bender from the Australian.
It's the slider.
I was going to go for my Australian accent, but I just don't have one. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball swung on it, missed strike 3. Gets away from McKeon for a moment. He tags Lindsay coming out of the batter's box, and the inning is over. A 1-2-3 inning for Travis Blackley. And at the end of 7.5, it's the Diamonds 5 and the Pacifics 2. To the bottom of the 8th we go. The Diamonds lead it 5-2. It'll be Wes Wallace, J.Q. Calderon, and Vinny Galletti to face Ryan Harper. It's been Mejia, Holbeck, Garrett Granitz, and Ryan Harper for San Rafael tonight, and it's been Travis Blackley all the way, and he just may come out for the 9th inning after a 1-2-3 8th inning when fastball looked pretty good. The curveball looked even better.
It did look good, but he had 3 straight curveballs against the Mark Lindsay, and he got him to swing at a couple of them, and that was it.
Here's Wallace, who takes high for a ball, and they count 1 ball and no strikes to West. 3 strikeouts on the evening for Wallace. He also popped to second. So he has got the hat trick already, and certainly doesn't want to do that one again. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Wes.
It's not been a night for the Diamonds to crow about offensively. They did get 3 runs in that last inning, but before that, they had hitters at the plate with opportunity after opportunity, and they did not score. And they're lucky that they've had Travis Blackley having such a great night.
2-0 pitch is slammed into left field. Way back it goes, and this one is gone. A home run for Wes Wallace, and take that with your 3 strikeouts. It's 6-2 Pittsburgh.
Wallace just turned on that ball and sent a line drive out of the stadium.
Wes Wallace leaves the building, and the Diamonds, well, a couple times they've looked good now scoring the runs. Other time they've been a bit fortunate in getting runs, and other times they just can't get them even when the bases are loaded. But they have a
4-run lead now heading into a 9th inning, but they've got 3, that nobody out here in the 8th. A lot of chance for more.
Calderon, the first pitch to J.Q., skied up into the night. And in to get it is the center fielder, Cameron Monger, to make the play. And that's out number 1. And that'll bring up Vinny Galletti. Wes Wallace really putting a charge into one. He had been 0 for 4, but that is a strong 1 for 5, I would say, as he absolutely crushed that one over the Little Jays sign out there in left field. So here comes Vinny Galletti, and he's done some damage tonight. An RBI double and a run scored, and he misses the changeup here, and the count 0-1 to Vinny.
3-2 count on Brennan Metzger with one out and nobody on in the bottom of the ninth in Sonoma.
We continue those updates. The Diamonds looking to creep to within one game of the front-running Stompers if they can hold on, and if Vallejo can hold on. Breaking ball in there for a strike to Galletti, and the count 0-2.
It's going to be awfully crowded at the top of the... Uh-oh. It looks like Metzger either walked or something, but he's on at first, so there's a runner at first, one out. Bottom of the ninth. Sammy Gervasio on the mound for Vallejo.
And Scott McDonald serving as our out-of-town scoreboard. No balls, 2 strikes to Vinny Galletti. The Stompers have made kind of a habit of coming back late in games and snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, as they would say.
And I think Aaron made a very good point here. Here's the pitch, bouncing up here. Well, there are a couple things. First off, in the long term of this situation, the Diamonds, if Vallejo is going to be the serious contender, the Diamonds only have 3 games against Vallejo. They don't need Vallejo getting out very far ahead of them. So Vallejo losing is not such a bad thing for the Diamonds. The second of all, when you can't, even though there are only 18 games left after tonight.
1-2 pitch in on the inside corner, a called strike 3. Vinny didn't seem very happy with that as he turns and walks back to the dugout, and he kind of gives a look back to Eric Thompson, very unhappy with that last strike call.
Well, the Diamonds, as you recall, in that end of that one inning where the Diamonds were very upset with Thompson and Thompson upset with them, and there was a confrontation with the coaches as the players were yelling. It was ugliness, actually, but that may have been a little bit left over of that.
There's a breaking ball, a check swing, and they're going to say that is a strike, that Bautista did in fact go around, and the count, no balls and 1 strike.
Well, we were talking tonight about how the Diamonds, heading into Sonoma, losing tonight would be, a drag because they, have all this momentum and they want to carry it into Sonoma.
Swinging a ground ball, that is going to be off the glove of third baseman Goldstein, on into left field for a base hit, and Bautista's got another hit tonight. That gives Gerald a pair. Of course, he came up with that big 2-out, 2 RBI base hit back in the first that made it a 3-run inning, and the Diamonds, for a big part of this game, led 3-2.
But the Diamonds can't be. The point Aaron was making was that they could lose tonight. They've won the series. You cannot let that get you down. You have to go on to Sonoma saying, okay, we won the series. That's what we wanted to do. The Diamonds right now don't look like they're in danger of losing this game. They've got a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. But I'm talking more about, it looks like if Vallejo could hold on, they could pull within 1 game of first place and behind both those teams. But if that doesn't happen, there's a lot of baseball to play, as they say.
Ground ball to short, picked up by Herrera across the diamond in time for the out. Marta Corena is out number 3. The Diamonds do get a run, however, on a Wes Wallace home run over the left field fence. And as we go to the top of the 9th, it's the Diamonds in control. They lead it 6-2. All right, as we go to the top of the 9th, the Diamonds lead it 6-2. It'll be Zach Goldstein, Miles Williams, Demetrius Moore, the bottom third of the order, to take on the new pitcher, Justin Martinez.
Martinez making his 18th appearance, 17 2/3 innings on the year. In that time, he has given up 20. He's gotten 20 strikeouts, given up 17 walks. He's 1-0 with 1 save on the year, 5.09 earned run average. And he's got a 4-run lead here in the 9th inning. So the Diamonds are counting on him to bring it home.
So the Diamonds leading it 6-2. 6 runs on 11 hits, no errors for Pittsburgh. 2-6-1 for the Pacifics. Travis Blackley was awesome tonight. 8 innings pitched, 2 runs and 6 hits. So he's pitched fantastic. Non-save situation here for Martinez with a 4-run lead, but the Diamonds trying to pick up a win, and still that news out of Vallejo, or out of Sonoma, I should say. Vallejo 2 and the Stompers 1 in the 9th.
2 outs in the 9th. The tying runners at first. Isaac Weinrich is at the plate.
Oh boy.
2 balls and 1 strike on him, and Sammy Gervasio on the mound.
And the first pitch of the 9th inning is to Zach Goldstein, in there for a strike, 0-1.
So we will keep an eye on this, obviously, and let you know however it goes there in the bottom of the 9th inning.
The 0-1 pitch from Justin. Breaking ball outside. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Diamonds trying to close out San Rafael here and claim the sweep. Angel Mejia, the starter for the Pacifics, didn't pitch all that badly. 5 1/3, 3 runs on 7 hits, but can't match Travis Blackley. This one is going to be just outside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike here to Zach Goldstein leading off the 9th, and the Pacifics need 4 to tie.
He barely missed that one. The Stompers are down to their last strike.
Martinez comes set. The 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung on. That's going to be a base hit to right field. And the leadoff man is on here for Goldstein. He's got his second hit of the evening. He also scored a run. That was back in the 3rd. Here comes Miles Williams. Good night for Miles, Scott. 2-run home run and a double. And, of course, that 2-run home run, the only runs on the board for San Rafael.
It's now a final score. Vallejo 2, the Stompers 1, and Vallejo and Sonoma are tied for first place.
So the Sonoma Stompers drop to 12-9. Vallejo goes up to 12-9, and in a flat-footed tie, big swing and a miss here to Miles Williams, and the count 0-1. So the Diamonds have a chance to creep to within 1 game if Justin Martinez can close this one out. Leadoff hit to Zach Goldstein. Williams waits. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2 to Miles.
So what's important about what's happened here in the 9th inning, I believe, is that Martinez is throwing strikes, and when he throws strikes, he's effective. Even with the base hit, that's all right. He's getting the ball over the plate. Here he's 0-2 on this batter, and that's what you got to do with a 4-run lead. Just let him swing at it.
Miles Williams standing in, no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, hits this one hard and deep left field. Marta Carrena going back, still going back, and this ball is gone. Miles Williams, a pair of 2-run home runs in this ball game, and just like that, the lead is cut to 6-4.
So maybe I should reconsider.
Well, carbon copy, Scott, of what happened in the 3rd inning. Zach Goldstein led off the inning with a base hit. Miles Williams hit a 2-run home run to left field, and that's what's happened here in the 9th. And now all of a sudden here with Demetrius Moore coming up to the plate, if he gets on, Juan Herrera all of a sudden would represent the potential tying run.
So, Vinny Galetti's got a word for Martinez. There is now Skylar Shaw-Fuss working in the Diamonds bullpen, warming up. We're in the top of the 9th inning, nobody out. And so now it's a 2-run ball game.
Here's the pitch to Demetrius Moore, in there for a strike. And we told you that Demetrius made his pro debut at second base in this ball game and handled several chances without incident. And then he had that one play when the ball was hit to him, and Herrera, the shortstop, invariably crossed his path. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swing and a foul back, and the count goes to 0-2.
And previous to that, he had the ball to his left that he went to try to get, and he kind of bobbled it. I think a more experienced second baseman would have had a better chance. It was a difficult play, but might have had a better chance at making that play. So it's funny, though, in that 1 inning, 2 balls hit to him, ended up the runners being getting safely to first base.
0-2 pitch to Moore, breaking ball outside, and the count 1-2. That was the one hit off the bat by Alex McKeon. Scored a base hit because Moore had to go so far over to his left to make the play. So he's had a pretty good night in the field, and he's walked 3 times here at the plate. The 1-2 pitch to Demetrius, swung on it, missed strike 3, and a big first out here in the inning as Justin Martinez gets the strikeout. Back to the top of the order now for Juan Herrera.
And we say this a lot, but boy, how big do those extra runs that the Diamonds scored matter now? Man, huge.
Sometimes you take those for granted,
right?
Thinking, just a couple extra runs is nice to have, and now all of a sudden,
let's get on with it.
You need them.
Let's get on with it. Go to the next inning, but no, let's take our time and see if we can get some extra runs.
Right. Of course, they're not going to fool us, Scott. We've seen that way too many times. Here's the pitch, and that is low for a ball to Juan Herrera. And for Juan tonight, he's got a base hit in 4 trips. Grounded to second, struck out. Base hit came in the 5th, and then last time in the 7th, grounded out to his counterpart, Jose Garcia. Here's one slammed into left field past the diving third baseman, B.J. Gwynn. And that is a base hit for Juan Herrera, his second of the ball game. And more importantly now, Mike Rizzatello is going to come up representing the potential tying run.
That is correct. And B.J. Gwynn made a great try at that ball. It was just absolutely horizontal trying to get that ball, but he could not stop it going into left field. And so now, you're right, one out, runner at first. And it's one of those moments where anything can happen. A double play could end the game or a home run could tie it. And anything in between.
2-run ball game on Tuesday, a 2-run ball game last night. Likewise today, ground ball, left side. That's going to get through for a base hit. So Rizzatello picks up a base hit, 4th hit in the inning, and now the potential tying runs are on base. And here comes Ryan Witt. And now he represents the potential go-ahead run, and all of a sudden Justin Martinez, all sorts of problems here in the 9th.
That'll be it for him, too. I'm sure Aaron Miles is coming out with a hook. Because that's going to do it for Justin. And Skylar Shaw-Fuss will come in.
So we have a pitching change here from Winter Chevrolet Stadium. Don't go anywhere. This one has gotten really serious here in the 9th. Be back to Pittsburgh right after this. Okay, so he gets 1 out. 2 runs. Those runs are his responsibility. Can't make it easy.
No,
it is exciting, but can't make it easy. Or I'll let him throw a couple Scotty. Okay. Get his numbers up.
So what I do is balance.
Want me to get it on my phone?
Yeah, well I can get on the phone, but I mean, where it's probably in here somewhere.
You got this up first.
Oh, I wrote it on. Hey, can I have that piece of paper back? There. That's what it is.
Thank you.
What do we got?
Dinner.
Thanks, Scott. That narrows it down. Nice.
How did you do this game quick? I hate when the stuff
Didn't tell them.
Well, let's do this, Scotty.
Yeah.
All right, back at Winter Chevrolet Stadium, it's all of a sudden gotten incredibly exciting here. And Miles Williams has hit his second 2-run home run of the evening, and then Herrera and Rizzatello have gotten base hits. So things have gotten very, very serious here for Skylar Shaw-Fuss, who takes over on the mound for Pittsburgh.
Shaw-Fuss comes in here. It is his 14th appearance on the season. He has 5 starts in those 14 appearances. He's pitched 39 2/3 innings. Has 26 strikeouts and 20 walks in that time. 2-1 is his 1-loss record. And his ERA is 5.21 as he comes in here with 2 runners on and 1 out. And the Diamonds now clinging to a 2-run lead.
Now here comes the former starter, Skylar Shaw-Fuss, now asked to actually pick up the save here. He'll need to get 2 outs as he faces Ryan Witt representing the potential go-ahead run here in this ball game. Well, the inning started out with a 4-run lead and Martinez coming in, but he ran into immediate trouble. 2 runs in, 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Witt in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. And it looks like Joe Lewis has gotten up in the Diamond bullpen.
He has. He's up and throwing, and there's someone throwing in the Pacific's bullpen, hoping that there will be a 10th inning here. Or bottom of the 9th, anyway.
Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 2. There's some action going down in the San Rafael bullpen as they hope this ball game will roll along. 1 out in the inning. Goldstein started it off with a base hit, 2-run home run by Miles Williams. Moore struck out, but then base hits by Herrera and Rizzatello both hit hard. And then another pitching change, and Shaw Fuss in trying to pick up the save. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed strike 3. Ryan Witt is out on strikes. That is out number 2. Here comes Cameron Monger now in the same situation that Witt was in. And, of course, the Diamonds would like to get him. Jake Taylor looming on deck, who's been cold in this series, and the Diamonds don't want to see him heat up here late in this ball game.
Ryan Harper is throwing in the Pacific's bullpen, but that strikeout, you could hear the cheer from the Diamonds dugout.
Here's the pitch to Monger. That is a breaking ball that stays high. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. So it's turned into another very good ball game as the Diamonds trying to get the win, get the sweep, move into within 1 game, I should say, of the Stoppers and the Admirals. Here's the pitch, low for a ball. Count 2 balls and no strikes.
It is the magic 2-run margin. They won the first 2 games of the series by 2 runs. They're back ahead by 2 runs, but now Skylar Shaw Fuss is a 2-0 count on Monger.
Certainly don't want to see Jake Taylor right now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Monger swings and pops it up. This should stay in play at will. Right side. Galletti, the first baseman, calling, making the catch, and the ball game is over. So Skylar Shaw Fuss comes in, gets 2 outs. He picks up the save. Travis Blackley, 8 innings pitched, 2 runs, 6 hits. He gets the win. And the Diamonds finish off the San Rafael Pacifics by a final score of 6-4. They get the sweep. They move to within 1 game of the top spot as they run their record now to 11-10.
The Diamonds have this. It's just gone like a dream. At the last, they have a 4-game winning streak. They're headed to Sonoma, 1 game behind the Stoppers, 1 game behind the surprising Admirals. We are just put on your seatbelt because this is going to be a wild finish to this season.
A wild finish, Scott. You said it. And Travis Blackley tonight, I think he's the lead story. The Diamonds came out with 3 runs in that first inning, but then they really kind of struggled offensively when they added on. It was really more of a situation that the defense of the Pacifics kind of had a couple of miscues right there. Then we did get the Wes Wallace home run, but really our lead story is Travis Blackley. Another great outing for him. And Scott, he's really had just 1 bad outing all year. He's been fantastic. He was fantastic tonight.
And he finally gets a win. And that is perhaps the most important thing. I mean, he finally gets a win number in the W column that he has deserved before, and he has been a boon to these Diamonds. But boy, you're coming down to this series against Sonoma, and I'm trying to figure out what the starting 3 will be. We got Steyerwalt will be pitching. Dennis Neal may be pitching. I'm not sure if Gunn will be pitching. We'll have to figure it out. We'll find out. Join us tomorrow night because it's only getting more interesting.
It certainly is that.
And we're ending with we're ended with a series of highlights here. That was a great play by McKeon on the pop-up. It was a big moment in the game, or there was a pop-up and McKeon made the play against the backstop.
So Blackley gets it done. Diamonds take care of business. They get the sweep, running their record to 11-10. And how about this, Diamonds fans? They're just 1 game back of Vallejo and Sonoma in the Pacific Association standings. They get the sweep tonight. They win it by a final score of 6-4. 3 big games coming up in Sonoma, and we'll be back on the air tomorrow. 6 o'clock start.
5:50, 6 o'clock start. 5:50 for Runs Hits Aaron.
6 o'clock for the first pitch. And then, of course, 5 o'clock starts on Saturday and Sunday, I believe, from Sonoma. No, 6.
Sonoma has decided every game now they're going to start at 6.
Okay, that pocket schedule doesn't matter.
Does not matter. Pay no attention to your pocket. It's 6 o'clock in Sonoma. If it's Sonoma, it's 6 o'clock.
Scott has the times for you. Big series coming up with Sonoma. Diamonds take care of business here tonight. For all of us with Diamonds Baseball, for Scott McDonald, I'm Anthony Schultz saying good night from Pittsburgh.